The furries, Arch. They look good.
God willing, I got that on stream.
Did you?
I think so.
The furries do look good. The Baldur's Gate character editor, it's on purpose. I swear to God, the furries look amazing. But the women, Arch. The women and the children.
Mm-hmm. Go on about furries and children, V. Please go on.
Yeah, like
Continue.
So my thesis, all right? I'm going to present you my thesis, and then I will defend it. It's like what we did at university. A lot of people are saying, myself included, that if this game was anime art style, it would have been banned from everywhere. Do you disagree?
I condemn V and everything he ever says.
Alright, so moving forward, the people that are on Twitter, the prestigious folk, they're telling me, it's like, oh, you want to see depictions of 9-year-olds? You want to masturbate to Uzaki-chan? Like, okay, no. I don't know why when I say anime, your mind goes to 9-year-olds. But secondly, you can take a halfling in this game, and it looks like a child, alright? It's a lot closer than anything anime has ever depicted. And for some reason, you're not against this game where you have chicks with dicks and you can have sex with bears. Like, this is something you like. But Uzaki-chan is where your ire and rage is directed at. I find this to be bizarre. I don't understand it.
Yet again, I actively disavow.
No, you don't. No, do not disavow. You avow everything. You avow it all.
Stridently.
Well, what do you disagree with?
Everything. All of it. All the time.
All right. What's the first topic for today?
Well, we got to be careful here, V, because this topic includes a word that is banned on YouTube. It includes frequent quantities of it, much shouting of it, hip-hop music, and the usual.
Oh.
So instead, I have elected to adopt the Sargonian term, which is urban youth.
Urban youth?
Yes.
I have heard other YouTubers use the word certain groups.
Certain groups. Okay. Elements of certain American communities. This may be acceptable verbiage, as I gave you a link in the link channel. A Twitch streamer, a Twitcher, I suppose.
The most popular, apparently.
Yes, apparently. I never even heard of the guy, but there you go. I am old.
I have something for you. See, I do my job as a good co-host, and I posted the article, everything you need to know about Mr. Kai Cenat.
Cenat, is that how he's pronounced? Like Sinatra?
I think, yes. Yeah, I think it's Kai Cenat.
Okay. Where did you post that exactly?
I posted it in the ArchCast streaming under Secret Whispers. The link channel. All right, Naruhodo. There we go.
There we are.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have a look at that in a second.
He's got chains, Arch. Why does he have chains?
So, Mr. Kai here figured that it would be a brilliant idea to put out this poster thingy on social media, where, and this will be funny later on, but he has a little thing saying police line, do not cross, and they're looking badass by their giant armored car, etc. And they've got lots of stuff on the floor, like a gaming PC, a PlayStation, stuff like that, a big camera, boxes and boxes of PlayStations, and this was a giveaway. Come to Union Square Park, Friday at 4 p.m. And it turned out, V, that a lot of people took him up on this invitation. I
saw. Even Dev took him up on this invitation.
Even Dev.
Dev is here.
I've arrived.
PlayStations, then the communist is here. Who would have thought?
Free PlayStations. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I was on UFAP, but now I'm here. I've abandoned them.
So let me educate you, Dev. Due to YouTube's policies, we can't use certain words.
Yep.
Arch suggests we use certain elements of the American society.
And or urban youth.
Urban youth. So are we calling them like basketball Americans then, or what are we doing?
V.
No.
Tell him off. Tell him off, V.
No.
Well, I don't know. Like, what's the limit here? Are we calling them smoke detector Americans? Like, what's the situation?
Dev immediately goes way
Heresy's
over
the
the limit.
question.
Ban him,
Fire is the
YouTube, not me. YouTube/short
He
for the
didn't get his
target.
channel. He did get his channel banned once. I just want to point that out.
That was
I
Trump's
believe
fault,
it
not
was-
mine. I was innocent.
I believe it was also during the uprising of certain elements of American society,
So,
especially Dev's commentary and interpretation of the event.
what occurred here was that a lot of people figured that they wanted some free stuff, and they showed up. And at first, like, the police, immediately when they noticed this, was like, ah, shit. They launched a level 2 alert immediately, which is because this guy is...
What are the alert levels?
4
what's
is the
level 1?
max. So 2 is, it's oh shit, but maybe we can avert absolute disaster. Because Brain Trust here, Kai Selina, Sealit, whatever the heck, he had not applied for any sort of a permit to do this, so that's one crime he's guilty of. He did not warn the police department, that's another one. So when this happened, like 2,000 people initially showed up just when the police were like, oh crap. And they started sending people to try and, spread the crowd because they realized what was about to happen. But by the time they got there, the crowd of 2,000 had increased to like 4,000. And one police officer reported that the crowd was increasing so quickly that they completely lost count. And very soon, people started attacking people. They broke into a nearby construction site and gathered up shovels, axes, and other tools.
Do you believe maybe he didn't know how popular he is?
No, I believe he knows how popular he is. I simply believe that he's a very, very stupid individual.
Well,
He
we were talking
thought
about this
that he's
yesterday on
Like-
Sargon's
like-
stream.
When he did his ritual of summon the communists, maybe he thought that he's going to summon only 100 of them.
Possibly.
But like he rolled a crit on his summoning spell, and he summoned 2,000 people.
So yes, Sargon's take yesterday, I think it was probably correct, is just that, he's 21. He is one of those popular streamers in the world, but also like he's young and kind of dumb, and he didn't really get it. It's like, oh shit, I don't know what 1 million people actually looks like until I see him. And it's like, oh shit, that's a lot of people, He didn't think it would be this big.
Like I will agree with Dev here because when you're streaming, like right now, Arch, you have 453 people watching, right? Can you imagine just how many would be in real life? Like that's bigger than a classroom
quite a
of
few.
people.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this guy announced this on a Twitch stream to about 40,000 people on a channel with 6.5 million subscribers. Like, even if 1% of these people showed up, he would be boned. And he
I
did
don't
this
think, like, he
in
did
one
that,
of the
though.
most
And-
populous cities on Earth.
Yeah, I think in hindsight,
In
it may not have
hindsight,
been
yes.
in hindsight, it may not have been the best move. Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't think this guy is a chess player.
The population of New York is Jesus Christ, that can't be real.
It is a lot.
20
it's like a hive city,
million people or something.
Yeah, it's like a hive city. It's not as big as Wuhan though.
Yeah, 20 million people. So
Yeah, it's the size of Romania. I know.
this guy elected to give away free shit in the middle of New York City. And by the time the police showed up and they saw the numbers, it jumped from alert level 2 to alert level 4, which means bring the riot police, bring everything, water cannons, whatever you've got. Start firing into the crowds if necessary.
Is that what you have feds in the crowd instigating shit? Or is
That's
that like a
no, that's a
extra
level
bonus
3.
level?
Like, that's not even...
Also,
Can't
like
even
a
compare
level
to
3
this.
have the feds in the crowd. I see. But like, okay. Why would he assume that the people would be unruly?
I don't know. Like, you wave several $1,000s worth of free shit in front of people and then you give it away to some but not others. I cannot imagine a situation in which this might work out in an adverse fashion.
Yeah, you say this. However, if you go to like a rock star concert, there's more people than that sometimes, and yet they do not behave in this manner.
Do the
I don't
Rockstar
know about
concerts
that.
like throw PlayStations off the stage?
Some of them may throw a guitar, and it's a very
The-
valuable guitar because it belonged to the particular Rockstar player.
There's some crazy concerts out there. I mean, Woodstock's Woodstock for a reason, right?
I suppose.
I think
Here, rough
Now-
napkin math. PlayStations are 500, 2,000 PlayStations. That's $1 million of stuff.
you know what I think, and I may get Arch in trouble over this, but hopefully I don't. Discord, I might delete this. I think that certain elements of modern society behave the way society allows them to behave. Like the mayor of the city went on and gave a speech saying that the problem wasn't that the people were rioting. The problem is the words that we use to describe those people. and I genuinely believe that when your politicians and the people that are supposed to install peace and order are willing to behave like this, they're basically encouraging people to keep behaving in a unlawful manner.
That is possible, because regardless of why, the what happened is quite obvious, as there's now a bunch of clips coming out of people committing, just good old-fashioned general duty vandalism, the usual. As you have a lot of people, and hell, the vandalism, that's one thing. A little bit of vandalism here and there, that's almost just healthy, frankly, a little bit, just keeps you on your toes. There was, however, also a fair bit of violence. I am quite carefully going through the various clips I'm finding so as to not find anything too, YouTube unfriendly.
Yeah, be careful, because I heard the person shot himself at this event.
Yes. There has been...
One that I linked to you features some violence, yeah.
Some is probably YouTube for okay, but nothing egregious. There are fights breaking out all over the place. There are people with weapons as well, clearly hitting other people. The police are nowhere to be seen, and the reason for that is because the police literally could not respond quickly enough to the scale of this happening. So by the time again, you can kind of see like flashing lights off in the distance, because by the time the police realized what was happening, it was already way too late. Again, I want to point out too, this guy, he will be lucky if he escapes jail time from this. Very lucky.
Usually they sign
inciting
a deal,
a riot.
Like they have the opportunity to get a plea deal.
Probably, but inciting a riot is the least of his charges at the moment. That's just what they slapped him with immediately. Reckless endangerment is almost guaranteed. There were rumors that one person was killed, in which case he could also get a manslaughter charge.
That's a stretch.
It's a stretch, but is not beyond the pale, as that person would not have succumbed to this without him.
You only need one jury
They
member.
probably hit him with it. They probably hit him with that crime just to make him plea down to a lower sentence.
Quite possible.
Yeah, and go to short. Yeah.
Vandalism, of course, was literally everywhere. In fact, the best part is, before the riot even started properly, the moment they showed up, people just started breaking into stores. Like, before anything broke out, they just started breaking into shit. As if it was just like, hey, there's lots of people here.
I heard some political commentators trying to ask, like, how is the left going to spin this? Because this isn't like a social justice gathering. It's not like them chanting certain rights that aren't being upheld. It is simply like, yeah, we're going to loot this hot dog stand because we can.
Yep, you have a large quantity of urban youth gathered in one area, and of all races and colors, of course.
They'll say that it's apolitical, which goes against the everything is political thing. But they'll say it's apolitical because Kai Cenat is like an entertainment streamer. He doesn't really care about. Yeah.
Let me ask you an interesting question. If it has nothing to do with politics, why did this particular group of urban youth elect to start burning and smashing shit?
Because they're young and dumb and it's fun.
Okay.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna accept that for the sake of YouTube.
No, it's the broken window theory, right? So, like, if you go into certain neighborhoods, you'll see a lot of broken windows, and in others you don't. And it's not like in one neighborhood you have broken window connoisseurs, and in the other ones you don't. It's simply the fact that the law isn't being applied, right? And breaking windows is fun. So like
So-
if you're going, if someone sees broken windows, they assume that okay, well in this place I can break another window and no one will do anything, and that's literally what's happening. It's like the certain elements of American society noticed that the law is not fast to respond when they do stuff,
Shit.
and because of that, there is no reason not to do the stuff.
Mhm.
And only 1% of people out of the crowd requires to think this way for it to happen. What actually transpired.
So I know like everyone wants to, or not everyone, some people want to make it like a race or a genetics argument, right? But I mean, you see the same thing when like there's football riots in places in Europe, right? You saw that with there's like hockey riots in Canada sometimes where someone will
But I'm glad
lose
you brought them
and they'll
up
just
there.
like they'll go wild and like just like flip over cars and burn build like shit happens all over
I'm
sports,
glad you
right?
brought them up because you know what? They don't happen anymore. You know why? Because the police cracks down on that shit. Like the punishment for hooligans was so severe that they would be banned from attending other matches. They would be banned from traveling to countries that have matches playing during that time. Like they cracked down heavily on it, and voila, no more problem. Like when's the last time you heard like a football riot taking place?
I think like a year ago in the UK. Maybe a year, I think. Maybe it might have been 2 years, but it was relatively recently.
Yeah, but they're rare and they're not as dangerous as they used to be. Like I remember one where around 100 people got killed. I think it was like in Brazil, right? We don't get that shit anymore because but like the law cracks down so hard on these things.
So like
they're not going to treat it with kids gloves or anything.
it's definitely partially enforcement, right? So if I can hear you through your speakers feed. Okay, anyway. No, it's like if in Brazil they're not going to crack down on them when it happens. It just escalates because they can, right? And if in New York they don't crack down, it will escalate because they can get away with it, so they do it. But the Vancouver hockey riot, the crackdown was so severe, they haven't had a hockey riot there since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that you apply the law and you get a law-abiding citizens.
Yep.
See, the difference in mentality between America and Romania is that Americans are like, oh, but like we lock people up to reform them. No, fuck that shit. You lock people up because you need to separate the law-abiding from the non-law-abiding. Like if you can't be law-abiding, why should other law-abiding people have to tolerate the crimes that you're committing? So basically, it's like, okay, you can't be a peaceful member in society, then go with other people who can't be peaceful and enjoy spending time in the cooler. And that's why we have like a very tough on crime mentality.
See, I have a
sense.
slightly different take. My argument for why this happened is rap music.
I mean, that is what the progressives would have you believe, right? Because art actually changes a person's mindset. Right? Like if you play lewd video games, you become part of the rape culture. If you play violent video games, you become violent. So if you listen to rap music using the same logic.
And by rap music, I mean social media.
Of course.
As what basically happened here is the guy did something incredibly dumb and is probably going to go to jail for what he did. Whether or not that was because he was simply just ignorant, or just actually dumb, like straight up dumb, like actually stupid, had no idea. I don't know.
IQ.
There's a difference between
I think
the
he's
two.
young. I think he's just like young and immature. Didn't quite get it. Now
Yeah,
he
I think
gets it,
so,
you know.
too. I don't think it means
possible, but
Actually,
the man's 21. He's not a child. He's not a baby.
Yeah.
He has a certain understanding of scale and numbers. Like if you give out a call to 6.5 million people, expect some to show up.
It's time to learn. Yeah, pretty much.
No, I do get
Speaking
that.
of his
but
arrest,
I
though,
wouldn't-
speaking of his
I
arrest,
wouldn't- I wouldn't expect that they would be unruly.
Arch, pull up that video of him getting arrested because I showed it to you yesterday. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it's in the. Oh shit! I put it in the Squeakrit channel, not the Links channel. Hold on.
Put it in there as well. Like Arch, why is the Squeakrit channel the first one? It should be like the Link channel the first and the Squeakrit.
I
the
blame Kibbs. It says Squeakrits. I blame Kibbs.
second. Yeah.
No, they literally they had to
check
lift
that out.
him out over the crowd to save him, basically.
To arrest him, they had to lift him out first.
Yeah, but like,
Man,
what was he in danger?
Yes. Well,
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
he was surrounded
That many
by
fans?
hundreds of people.
Yeah, but were they his fans?
There was also he had tried to get away earlier by getting back into his big old armored car, and people had simply swarmed his big old armored car.
Also, like he couldn't actually physically leave.
Yes.
So it wasn't like his fans were attacking him. Like they were kind of like the video you made about the peasants in Bretonia that go around the Grail Night. Was it like that?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, so they go around the Grail Night and they're like taking stuff from him. Is that what happened here?
He did gather quite a following, yes, and I'm presuming his stock of PlayStations, etc., have been redistributed by now.
All 2,000 of them.
Like, is this comparison accurate, Arch? Because you're the lore master. Like, he's the Grail Knight, and the other people are the Bretonian peasants that are the pilgrims.
Sort of.
Oh, Arch, you got to enable the dev graphic. People in the chat are complaining.
The dev graphic? There is no dev graphic.
Oh, did it vanish?
Dev against.
Do you think they're going to? Okay, Arch. Do you think the Bretonian peasants are going to carry his car into battle from now on?
I doubt it.
Why? I mean, isn't it like a reliquary? Isn't that what they do?
Citizenship.
I doubt these were Bretonians, Vee.
But if they were Bretonians, they would carry his car into battle.
Quite likely. Let's see. He has the reports at the moment, multiple criminal charges, including unlawful assembly and inciting a riot. That's the headline at the moment. Now, the police claim that there have been no deaths, at least, so that is good. There have only been a few dozen injuries. And tens of thousands of dollars of damages, but, you know, such is an average evening in New York, no doubt.
Yep.
The police actually unironically did incredibly well on this instance because they managed to arrive very quickly and actually managed to spread the crowd very effectively without having to go crazy. They just don't have to arrest like 60 people, mind you, but, you know, again, such is life. Here's the thing, though. This really does come down to how do I put it? A general lack of understanding of how anything works these days at all. Like, you've got a 21-year-old. 21-year-old is not actually all that young, in my opinion. It's like, okay, is he inexperienced? Sure, but he's 21. He is more than legal, you know. Nobody is going to consider him a kid anymore at this point. He isn't a grown adult. He has been for absolute ages at this point. And he elected to do something unfathomably stupid. But
I mean, yeah, but like we can have a little bit of leeway here, just because we all remember what it was like to be 21. We were all stupid.
No,
we were all kind of stupid.
No, I believe there is no leeway here, Dev. This is the problem with modern day society: the continued infantilization of adult human beings, the continuing. See, it's the same with college campuses, right? Where people go to be safe, to have their safe spaces, to be educated in feminist dance theory, etc.
I mean,
this is not a good thing.
I completely agree with you.
Would you say that these individuals would fail the shopping cart litmus test?
I believe they have not heard of the shopping cart test.
So the shopping cart litmus test is that so you know how you have to return the shopping cart,
It is
right?
a test of social responsibility, yes.
Yes. Like no one is constraining you to return the shopping cart. And if you refuse to return, the people that refuse to return it are the type of people that only need punishment and consequences for not doing the right thing in society. Like, they can't live in a free society. They need to be treated with the full might of the law and everything that's required of them, because they just will not do the right thing.
In fact, I am absolutely convinced that if you went to New York, you will see a tremendous amount of shopping carts, just in random places, scattered all over there. All over.
In every alleyway.
Now that you bring it up, there are neighborhoods where you can take the shopping cart without putting a coin in it. And there are other neighborhoods where there's even a security guard at the door of the mall, not allowing you to leave with the shopping cart.
I imagine there are neighborhoods in New York where there are just dumping grounds of shopping carts, so people bring their shopping, take it home, dump it.
Do you fail the shopping cart litmus test if you steal the shopping cart?
Yes, I believe so.
That's an
So would you
exceptional
consider that
failure,
an F?
yes. So here's the thing. Arch, I actually completely agree with you, right? Like he's an adult. The full weight of the law should come down on him. This is basically the moment where he has to actually grow up and be like, oh yeah, you're not a kid anymore, right? I'm not saying that none of that should happen. I completely agree with you. What I'm saying is I understand what it was like when I was 21. I'm sure you guys do too. And I was a stupid adult, right? I think every 21-year-old, they're still an adult and they should be treated like them. But I mean, you're still kind of dumb. And you shouldn't be given any leeway.
To commit crimes, them. Stupidity
No,
is
no,
not
no,
the
no,
key
no.
to commit millions of dollars in
I
damage.
completely agree with you. What I'm saying is like it's an understandable mistake that he should absolutely be punished for.
This is the
So
point of
basically,
view
you
of a
wanna
man
hug him
who
when he's
deprived a city of electricity.
I was also around 21 and I made a very stupid mistake and I got punished for it. So yes.
I'm the city
And
of
you know what?
and
I grew up as a result of it. So yes.
Well, I'm sure he will grow up as well as the result.
Yes.
I'm sure he
exactly.
will learn many interesting lessons, yes.
I think he will never do this again.
Yep.
And
I don't think he will ever give PlayStation 5 to the public.
V, do you not know the lore of how I deprived an entire city of electricity?
No.
Okay, so I was driving a dump truck for the city, right? Going from point A to point B. And I had the bed up. So I was in dump position. So everything was dumped out. I forgot to lower it. I just drove away with the bed up. And I went through an intersection and tore out all the power lines. And I was young. I was stupid.
That's an accident.
It is an accident, yes.
Yes.
And well, here's the thing: like I lost my driver's license for several years, and I was delegated to doing the worst labor at that job until I left that job. So I got punished, and I grew up. I grew up.
We have this concept in Romanian law. It's called culpa, which means like, but basically, if you knew what you were doing or not, right? So there are crimes that you can commit knowing that you're committing them, like theft. You can't commit theft by accident, right? Like you have to have the intention of stealing something and making it as your own. But there are also crimes that you can commit without wanting, but the consequences they're never the same. So like nonetheless. So for example, like not covering a manhole or doing what you did, right? So like what you did, you didn't intend to leave the city without electricity, but you should have known that you need to lower that thing. So basically what Dev is trying to say, Arch, is that the intent of this streamer may not have been to cause a riot, but he did cause one nonetheless, and he should still be punished for it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is a failing on behalf of society as well. Because the amount of idiocy that this person committed is astounding. He didn't get a permit, first and foremost, which everyone knows you cannot do this shit in public without telling someone. This is common knowledge. He did not inform the police because he even had a little thing on his promotion thing like police line, don't cross, like the evil cops are going to oppress us. Yes, the evil cops that are going to save your black ass from your fans are going to oppress you.
Oh, yeah. So V, the concept that you're talking about is mens rea, right?
Yeah, guilty mind, I think
guilty mind. You have to know that you're actually committing a crime for it to be like a really serious crime, basically.
Yeah, like the punishment is more severe for crimes committed with a guilty mind, but you still get punished for crimes that you don't have the guilty mind.
Yeah, that's why you have like manslaughter versus murder, because there's like different levels of responsibility based on whether or not you knew what you were doing was wrong.
Yeah, he didn't have a guilty mind. This is what you're trying to argue.
Yes.
And yeah, I accept that.
We need education on this point. We absolutely do, because you need to be taught how the system functions. If this guy had spent, if he'd done the intelligent thing, which was go to a lawyer and go like, hey, I want to give away a few $1 million worth of free shit. How do I do this without getting into a lot of legal trouble? And he would have been given a stack of goddamn documents, but at the end of the day, the police would probably have showed up to his event to help him hand it out.
Shit. Yep. This is why like celebrities and really big YouTubers, they have like they have agents or they have lawyers. You know, they have people who know exactly what to do.
Yeah, like the moment you get like a
Service
million
guarantees
fans,
citizenship.
you already start getting lawyers and advisors and
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Why didn't he have advisors? Like he's the biggest streamer on Twitch.
Well, so this is the thing.
I
Too.
think
He's reasonably new, but he isn't actually. So the article that we found, who is Kai Cenat, he's been streaming since 2018. So he's not actually new to this game. It's not that he's some baby chick right out of the nest or something.
actually, Arch, here, I'll put this in the link channel. This
Did
is
the
his,
algorithm push him?
this is his Know Your Meme page. Check out the first paragraph in that page called the first paragraph of online history.
Let's see. It's comedy video, spoken slang term, unspoken, riz and gyat. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
No. The first paragraph of online history, the segment online history.
Then in front of his first comedy video, Facebook caption speechless, told Siri to shut up, and she responded with a more aggressive rebuttal. 7
Yeah,
years,
so
the
his-
video received 10,400 views.
Yeah, so his first content ever was July 1st, 2015, and he's been posting non-live content on Facebook ever since he was 14 years old. So like he knows what the internet's like on some level.
Yes.
And he's known all throughout his childhood.
Yes, he's grown up with this. He switched to Twitch in 2021, and the thing that made him blow up was a 30-day streaming session where he streamed nearly 24 hours each day on Twitch. So I'm presuming he did the sleep streams too and shit.
Probably, yeah. I
How
think
can you
actually
survive that shit? Jesus Christ! So like 1 month of like just non-stop streaming.
Yep.
What
He
do you
did
do? What do you talk about? What do you just?
I think he actually set a world record for that.
Yes.
He just streamed. He slept on stream and he just played games all day and talked to chat for 30 full days, and just
What do
stayed
you
in one
play,
spot.
though? Like Jesus.
Had people bring him money, or had people bring him food. Yeah.
That is insane. That is quite an accomplishment.
Well, basically, you turn on your camera in a room and you leave it on for a month.
I would not be able. Would you be able to do that, Art?
It's like, I'm
Well,
presuming he had breaks in between, because otherwise you have issues. Like, I don't know, poo breaks.
Yeah, but like, how long can you have? Let's assume like 8 hours of sleep, and then you go back to streaming. Like, would you be able to do that for a month?
I think he streams the sleep too.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
when
you?
does he shower?
On stream, I
He
guess.
probably streams that as well. Okay, here. Yeah. Well, wait. Have you guys heard about the new sleep meta on Twitch?
Yeah, I've seen some of it where the Amaranth chick was what was
Yeah,
it, earning
yeah.
like $20,000 sleeping on stream.
Yeah. So,
Oh
so
yeah.
Here, you're not gonna play the video. Just pull up like the first like second. Just like pause it on that and look at this. So basically, Amaranth's whole thing now is she'll go to bed. She'll just sleep
just
her nights.
imagine-
She'll stream her night's sleep, just lying there sleeping for the evening, right? And that's her stream. And she makes thousands of dollars of people presumably jacking off to her, because as soon as she wakes up, everyone leaves.
Well,
She loses like 500 viewers as soon as she wakes up.
you know, it's money,
She
isn't
doesn't
it?
even look that. And she's married, isn't she?
Oh yes, her husband is forcing her to do this, don't you know?
That all ended up being fake. That was all.
Don't say.
Well, no shit. No fucking shit. You know what? Pisses me off. Like, there is no common sense on the internet anymore. The moment I suggested, like, look, I don't buy this shit. Oh my God, you're rape apologist. It's like, dude, how do you go on the fucking internet without getting conned is what I want to know. Because if you're this level of gullible and you believe literally anyone telling you something, unironically, like, how do you not get conned? How do you navigate the dangers of the internet? I'm sorry, Arch. I just, it triggers me. It triggers me because like I predict this shit months in advance, and then it turns out that I'm right, and no one that attacks me comes to me and apologizes.
Well, the thing is, V actually unironically has a point here, because clearly we need to start educating people on the internet. First of all, we need to start educating them how the fucking world works. This is something that is the biggest failing of the modern day education system. This is my biggest pet goddamn fucking peeve. Not a thing I learned in school has been useful for me. Pythagoras fucking theorem. No. I will correct myself. 2 plus 2 has been useful to me throughout life. Basic addition. Everything else, worthless. Like, where is
Learning
Nicaragua
English.
on a map? I don't know, Google. Where's Nicaragua? It's here. Thank you. But how to do your taxes, how to set up a company, how to take a responsible loan, how to not cause an enormous riot, these are things you need to know.
So there is.
You know, like the fact that streamers and TikTokers like to get clout is also shocking for people. I had a conversation with the Mr. Jessam guy, and he was shocked that I do this for clout. It's like, well, why the fuck do you think I'm doing this? It's like to make videos in my own room and no one listen to them. Like, of course
Wait.
I want the bukkake of likes.
You finally talked to him? How did that go?
No, we did like back and forth video
Oh, I
response.
thought you actually had a final conversation. Okay, yeah.
But well, it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single YouTuber in existence that is doing YouTube for not clout.
Yeah, literally.
I believe
right?
that is the
That's like-
purpose of YouTube.
I kind of disagree with that.
I'm not like the other girls. I'm literally like the other girls, Arch. Like, I am like the other girls.
You know, I actually disagree with you, Art,
Silence, Vee.
because-
Dev needs to get up on his horse here.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't do it for clout.
You don't.
No.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Kami. There is no
Dev,
fuck. Well, why do you do it
do
then?
you live off your YouTube channel?
I do, yes.
Okay, so you are doing this as a living to earn money off your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's quite
so
nice too.
You're doing
But-
it for clout.
But here's the thing: I wouldn't say something I don't believe. Is what I mean. You know, like
What does one
just
have
for
to
clout.
do with
That is not the point. Clout is simply doing it for more influence, to be widely known, to have more subscribers, to do better. That is
promoting
what
your
it is.
shit. Like if I retweet one of my tweets, why the fuck do you want to think I do it? It's because the algorithm actually pushes your tweet upwards, and people go like, "Wait, it's not the way you're supposed to." Shut the fuck up. Change the algorithm, and then I'll stop retweeting
Now,
my
see,
own tweets.
That is where I will attack Vee as well, because this is the thing. Everyone is doing this for attention. Duh. That is the entire literal point. But there are varying degrees of rules and regulations and personally enforced, things that you do and you won't do, etc. And that is the differences overall. Like, some people will do
retweet my fucking
anything.
tweets, Arch. Right now,
Some
right now,
people
I'm
are
retweeting one of
low,
my own
like
tweets.
Vee.
some people will do
I am
anything for clout,
retweeting my own
basically.
tweets,
Yes.
Arch, and you can't fucking
Yeah.
stop me. Right now, look, I did it. I
You just
fucking
did it?
did it, Arch. It's retweeted.
Yeah, here. Let me put it this way. When you say the phrase "do it for clout," the implication embedded in that is do anything for clout. Like, I will
Attention
betray
whore,
I
every.
don't care about your
I will-
communist implications,
will-
Steph.
Well, no, it's kind of important, right? Because, okay, man, I've done some things and I've lost clout, and you both know what I'm talking about. So, like,
Well, that's 'cause
Dev,
you're wrong.
let me put it this way. I'm a 37-year-old married man with a
Yeah.
Ushikushi Sakubasu as an avatar. Do you not fucking think that this is for getting clout? It's not even on my channel. I'm doing it to give Arch clout. Look at him. He's got like 138 people watching. If I
138.
change my avatar, he's going to have less.
I'd be disappointed.
I've always kind of held the opinion that
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
going to
yeah,
do what
let
I
me-
want to do, and if it takes off, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's fine.
Yeah, but
I-
sure, but
I-
you're
I-
still
I enjoy doing what I
for
do,
the
you know?
attention.
I don't know.
Dev,
I mean,
you,
listen,
you're,
listen,
you're
listen, listen,
literally
listen,
making
right.
a living off this.
Hold on, Arch, I can explain to the comment. Listen,
God damn.
there's 3 different subjects that take place in one day, right? Like 3
Okay.
different talking points. You can only
Yeah.
make one video. Aren't
Okay.
you going to make the one that you think is the most popular with your audience? Like, you like
No.
all these 3 subjects, but you like all of them equally, right? So
Equally,
like,
yeah.
let's say one is about Donald Trump, another one is about VTubers, another one is about. Aren't you going to go for the one that you think people will like to watch?
No.
Okay, well, you're weird then. You're not doing it as
Like-
your
Dev will, in
okay.
a situation where he likes 3 videos equally, he will go for the one his audience likes the least.
Like,
Well, no,
the
what
reason
I
I'm doing
found,
my
though-
video channel, the
Okay,
reason
here.
I'm doing my channel, Dev, is to entertain people, right? Like, if I know that this topic is more entertaining than the other 2, and I can only make one video, I can't make all 3, I will make the one that entertains the audience the most.
See, the way I do it is, like, I'll look at the topics that I have that I could do, and generally one of them kind of like speaks to me. It's like, you do this one, and I'll do that one. Like,
The topics speak to you, Dev?
I just kind of flow where my
That's what the
intuition goes.
topics say.
Yeah.
See-
So I just go where my intuition goes, and I don't worry too much about what my audience wants. If I actually worried about that, I would have put out the trucker video like a year ago. right? So I do what my heart tells me to do, whether or not it's popular.
I mean, that is nice. I got a
Again,
tear coming down from my cog. That was like a lovely
there
speech.
are different degrees, but even that is doing it for clout. Whenever you upload anything to the internet, it is for people to watch it. Again, there are different degrees. For example, you could go on Google Trends every day and go like, okay, what I'll make for a video today? Google Trends, top search, etc. You could do that. You could simply spam out content. You could do clickbait, etc. All of these things. And you know what? They are all legitimate strategies that only your personal moral compass can determine whether or not you engage in or not.
Okay, I can prove you're doing it for clout, right? The thumbnails, Dev. You put a lot of work in the fucking thumbnails, right? Like, don't you do good thumbnails so more people click on your videos? Isn't it more simple to just like leave the default thumbnail over there?
That's
true.
Dev.
Fair
He's
enough.
got
Fair
you
enough.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I have like streamlined, or there's a template, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's like not a negative thing to do things for clout. That's my point.
Well,
everyone does it, right?
I think we're doing like a Sitch's Law thing now, where we agree we're just using different labels, so it's fine.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this doing it for clout, but if you would, that's okay then. That's okay.
Well, I mean, you're doing it to get as many people watching your videos as possible.
And returning.
Like, if you make a video, don't you want more people to watch it than less?
Okay, listen. All other things being equal, yes, more people watching is better than less people watching. But I don't think I would sacrifice like what I do or how I make a video or what I want to say in the service of that. No.
Okay. That's fair, but like that's what I'm saying. Like every single person live streaming wants more people to watch. Otherwise, why would you live stream? Like you just put your videos on private and just share them to friends.
Dev is a virtuous prostitute, but a prostitute nevertheless.
Yep.
The point remains, destroy Twitch now, please. And imprison...
That's the best way to do it.
Imprison people who break shit. And then reform the school system. All of it. From the bottom up. Every single last part of it. Burn it all to the ground. This is my opinion. And it's because of rap music. That too. Let me read the Superchats. They might expand upon certain issues. Then we'll talk a little bit about Anita, because I feel, while Sargon is like, I am above filthy women, I still respect women. I am what you call a feminist, and I will...
Are you saying Sargon's not doing it?
I'm a gentleman, I know.
I am a gentleman, yeah.
The supreme one.
Listen, when a woman gets up to go out into the cold, I will at least stand.
I figured out how to prove that Dev is a commie.
Okay.
It's not very difficult.
He still streams on Twitch and isn't getting banned.
Yes.
I mean, that is the fucking litmus test right there.
Yep.
Ballcraft says 4V.
It's because I have like 5 viewers on Twitch.
He gives you balls, V.
Service guarantees citizenship.
So on the list says Arch change your fire alarm batteries. See, okay, so Dev's argument, he did a video on it. He was like, it's because you're black, because it's biological.
I did not fucking say that.
I am on the other hand.
Didn't say that, Arch.
I hear the thing beep and I change the batteries like a normal human being.
Yes, so do I.
I don't know.
I got a question from one of my viewers, which is very interesting. Why do we never see the behavior from Kai's fans at a Trump rally?
That's a good point.
It is an interesting. Now they will break January 6th up probably,
well, no,
but like
the thing is,
it wasn't looting, right? Like no one entered the hot dog store and stole the hot dogs. You know, it's just like
this can easily be explained. And again, it actually doesn't have anything to do with race. It is simply upbringing. It is what is socially acceptable. If there was a huge riot here in Norway for some reason, whatever reason, and shit was on fire and everything was burning and like hell was breaking loose, still you would not see anyone start breaking into stores because it simply isn't done. Like the Norwegian mind does not go there. Like there's an invaluable, involatile English. Help, Dev.
The root word's violation.
Inviolate. There you go.
Inviolable.
There is an inviolate barrier there. Like, it doesn't happen because we don't think that way.
I got a different explanation, okay? People are as evil as others are allowing them to be. Right? So,
No. Like, yes, in a larger overall societal context, I agree, but this is not that.
Like
This is the microcosm.
Like, if you play video games, right, and you don't have any moderation for cheating, like, you will have cheaters in that video game. But if you have like when Steam has like Steam Guard and prevents cheating, all of a sudden no one cheats in that video game because you lose your account. And this applies to real life as well. It's not just video game. If you allow
I disagree, because your argument is punishment, and I do not believe punishment is the point here. There is some wider societal thing at stand here, because Norway has fuck all laws. Like, our maximum punishment for raping, torturing, and murdering someone is 20 years in prison. That's it. Like, you cannot legally receive anything more.
We got that as well.
You know? And yet still, we have some of the lowest crime rates in the world. Like, where violence is this absurd thing that happens other places. This absolutely is a societal thing rather than a punishment thing.
I think it's a plethora of vectors, right? So, like, what you're talking, upbringing is one, punishment is another. I think, like, all of them work in unison. It's not like one is better than the other.
No, I think there is, because punishment is a response to a problem. You do not punish someone. There's no need for a punishment unless there is something going on. In a society where there is no crime, you do not need a punishment.
Sure, but like when there's masses of people, you will have people with good upbringing and people with bad upbringing. And when you have like examples set, and it's like, it creates the mindset that, all right, well, if I do this, I will never get away with it. Even people who want to do it won't do it because they know they're going to be punished.
Yeah, but again, like, that percentage will be so minuscule. Like, it isn't that there's an absolute lack of punishment either, but it is not that punishment is the primary driving factor. In fact, it's been shown that punishment in and of itself, unless it is literally public, unless it affects you personally, is simply ineffective. This is why the death penalty...
Okay, I can give you an example from history in Romania, Vlad the Impaler, right? Like, he started piking people to the point where he put a golden chalice in the middle of the marketplace and no one took it.
Yes, exactly, because he was actually impaling people in public.
Yes. Yeah, my point is that punishment can work, right? So, like, they're both effective, and I think, like, a good society would have both. Like,
yes, but again, this isn't about punishment. Punishment is a response. It is when something is already going wrong.
Like, my point is that if in Norway, right now, you would stop applying the law on, like, whatever group of people, like people with blonde hair, all right? Like, they can commit crimes and nothing happens to them. The politicians will defend it. If you talk about people with blonde hair committing crimes, the politicians will be like, well, can you use different words, please? You know, I am willing to bet that within less than a generation, you will have blonde hair people forming gangs and committing the most atrocious crimes possible.
No, I don't believe so. You know what would happen? If you simply, if there was if God came down, so like, you will not punish this group of people, but you didn't tell anyone, no one would fucking notice.
No, but I'll tell you how it's happening, right? First of all, like, you do tell people, like it would be in the media, you know, like, blonde hair people are oppressed, blah, 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 blah.
Then you are giving them permission. You are adding in an extra agenda. You're going like, hey, you won't be punished.
Well, yeah, but this is what's happening in the United States.
Sure, but that isn't the point we're making here. If you told, if you simply stopped punishing Norwegians and you didn't tell them, crime rate would not increase. I can guarantee it. It would take a very long time. And again, it's because it's in our mind. It's simply not done.
I get it, but I think, like, what would happen is, like, first someone would try to litter or, you know, drive the bus without a ticket, and they would notice that. And you know what would happen? Punished.
The guy next to him would go, "Stop."
How would they know that you have no ticket?
Like, going on the bus without a ticket, the bus officer would just let you in, and then he would look at you, scowling.
Arch, you're making like a social fabric argument, right? That as long as everyone has some sort of solidarity with each other, they're not gonna like hurt. You know, you're not gonna hurt your brother, basically.
Not even solidarity. Like, this is a societal thing of education and upbringing and how we view the world around us. Like,
I would love to see how Arch integrates into Romanian society.
Well, that's the thing. Is
I
like,
really love this.
no offense, V, but Romania is like a low trust society compared to Norway.
Yeah, we had communism. Like you try
Yeah.
having communism at a high trust. It's like having a
No, I
diversity
completely-
at your corporation.
completely agree with
have,
you.
have high, yeah.
Yeah, like communism destroys high trust societies, absolutely.
Like
But
a
I mean, the
diversity
thing is that
it destroys the trust between workers, so they don't unionize. It's by design.
so. Here's the thing, like I don't know, I don't think it's this way anymore in Canada because Trudeau's fucked it all up. But I mean, 10 years ago, Canada was a very high trust society, and like I talked to a Chinese friend of mine who came over to go to school, and he's like, "Dude, this place is just ripe for swindlers to come in and scam everyone."
Literally,
because-
literally from
Yeah.
what them was telling me. Do you know that people say hello to them on the streets even if they don't know each other, Arch?
Yes.
Like you're walking on the street and there's like, why?
The people are
Like,
pretty friendly here. Yeah.
Because you do that. If you're out walking and you see somebody else walking in the different direction, you give them a nod of acknowledgement. You just go, "Hello there. Well, I see you.
If someone
You're
does that
another
to me,
human being."
I will. Yeah, but like if that happens, I will grab my wallet and I will be
Yes.
very careful like, that
Because
person wants
your
something.
society is ruined.
Not ruined. It's really good society. We have low crime rates.
Now, to be fair, in Canada, Toronto is a low trust area. That's for sure. It's like immigrant central, right? But
and
the rest
again-
of Canada still has this.
There,
So you're saying that immigrants cause low trust then?
there
Yes.
are absolutely like weaknesses to the society. Like our big terrorist, for example, Anders Behring Breivik. You know, the guy who killed lots of people on Utøya. How he did that is he dressed up as a police officer. And by dressed up, I mean he wore like
Service
a black
guarantees
shirt
citizenship.
with a police badge, not even like sewn on. It's just like glued on his shoulder. He does not look like a police officer in the slightest. But in our society, people just, "Oh yeah, of course you are." Like, hello. Nobody doubts it.
It was like Hitman, like when you use a disguise.
Yes, because that is just how we are in Norway. The police are not your enemy here. Like they're not viewed as the best thing is you probably heard of this the robbery at Nukas where people were walking through the gun battle between the police and the robbers.
Just taking a stroll.
That actually happened. There was a bank robbery, and the robbers were armed with fucking assault rifles and shit, and they were engaged in a firefight with the police. It's the most dramatic thing that has happened in Norway in like 20 years, and people simply walked through the line of fire because they simply couldn't believe that this was happening. Like, it was... They don't have a frame of reference for any of this. It would be like telling a person to fly.
That is a weird society, actually. I don't believe it's real.
It's real. Like, this actually happened.
You know, when they made the Matrix, the first Matrix, it was so good that people would wake up because it wasn't real. I think if I go to Norway, I would wake up from the Matrix. I would be next to Andrew Tate, which is still hooked in it.
Probably.
Like, my brain would refuse to believe it.
I mean, like there's pluses and minuses, right? Because you are more likely to get swindled more easily in a high trust society, but also, if people are acting honestly in a high trust society, a lot of things just go way smoother.
Everything goes with it. It's like the American political apparatus. Back in the day, when half of it simply functioned on trust and an honor system, the apparatus functioned far more smoothly. Like, they didn't have term limits in the US, for example, because everyone simply understood that, okay, sometimes somebody's going to have to take more, turns to the wheel. But normally, it's you don't run for twice. You know, here's the craziest thing. Back when, like, Ulysses S. Grant was running for president, around the time of Abraham Lincoln, etc., it was viewed as absolutely shameful to campaign for yourself. Like, that was the lowest thing. That was despicable. Like, you can't get yourself elected. Other people have to elect you. Otherwise, your election isn't worth anything.
Was Ulysses Grant like the ship?
Yes, it was a ship too.
Okay. No, because I thought I knew. I don't know if it has like bullets or clips in it, but I do know it was a ship.
V, what does the S in Ulysses S. Grant stand for?
I don't think anyone knows.
Damn it, he knew this.
I think it's like one of the things where it may have been a typo.
It actually was. His brother. When he rolled into West Point, they thought he was his brother, and so they added in Ulysses
Harrison's
S.
the
Grant
question.
because his
Fire
brother's
is the
name was, I think,
answer.
Samuel or Sam or something, and that's what the S stood
Just
for.
because I don't know the difference between a clip and a magazine doesn't mean I don't know history. I know more history than most Americans.
In fact,
I bet I know more history than the Americans that wanted those PlayStation 5s over there.
Grant himself even remarked at one point when he was publishing his memoirs, like, finally, maybe someone will tell me what the S stands for.
Hold on. We're Superchats, Arch.
We deviated. It's all because you don't understand that Norway's good and you're evil. Anime Document gifted an ArchCast membership. Thank you very much, sir. So John says, what level chimp out was this again? This was a level 4, according to the police. Cat on Crack says, the police can predict where sports stuff happens with aggressive people. This New York stuff came out of nowhere, police had no chance. Yeah, no, that was literally what they were saying too. Like, the moment they heard about it, they were putting boots on the street because they knew what was going to happen.
I have lost.
But by the time they arrived, it was already too late, and all they could do was escalate and start getting shit under control. Free Golem says, everyone is as bad as they think they can get away with. Persons without a
Harrison's the
conscience are
question.
morally dependent
Fire
on
is the
persons of
answer.
conscience to keep them from getting away with things. See,
Yes.
I don't agree, because the thing is, it's not what you can get away with. It is what you believe you can get away with. Or more correctly, what you believe you should be able to get away with. Because I don't believe for a second that the average Norwegian isn't breaking the law because he thinks he can't get away with it. He doesn't do it because it would be unthinkable
Service
to
guaranteed
do it.
citizenship.
There's a Romanian proverb which says, who steals today an egg, tomorrow will steal an ox. Like, and it's the broken window theory as well. Like, basically, if someone commits a crime and doesn't get caught, then they will keep committing crimes and eventually they may even start escalating. Now, obviously not every person, but it's enough for like a small percentage to keep doing it. I think that in Norway, people get punished for breaking it. Right? So, like, if you commit a crime, you get punished. But, like, if Norway would stop punishing criminals, then you would have, like, more crime. I don't think, like, this is a philosophical thing. Like, hard on crime means less crime. Soft on crime means more crime.
I don't believe so. Because, again, Norway doesn't have a strict punishment system. It's like the good old saying, like, people don't lock their doors at night. That is exactly what it is, because it's that high trust of a society. And there's clearly something that happens to a society at some point, and it needs wealth, obviously. It needs affluence, basically, to happen. But there is a level at which the population simply just live and let live, to put it like that.
Well, I get what you're saying. I just disagree with it.
And I don't think that's because they're afraid of the headsman.
No, I think it's a little bit of... I think, like, it's different vectors, and what you're saying is true, but I do
Harrison's
think,
the
like,
question.
punishment is
Fire
also
is
important.
the answer.
Punishment is only effective if it is actual punishment. Like, even the death sentence has been shown to have basically zero effect on the rate of crime, unless you make it public.
I have lost.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, the stoning in the Middle East seems to be very effective.
Yes.
Even though it's immoral and inhumane, but you can't argue with the results.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing. The punishment, then, is not what drives the result. It is the fact that the person suddenly sees himself potentially receiving that punishment.
Yes.
That is the difference. That is a societal impact rather than a punishment impact. The punishment isn't fixing society, it is merely nudging it. Grump5919 says, throw the book at him. I think they might. And if you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. Correct. Accurate. True. Snootnov says, I remember playing hentai games back in the day. Yes, guilty pleasure. Like 20 years ago. They were always labeled 18 plus so that the young ones might not get them. Naughty. So some of my old hentai games was less pervy than this. You'll have to check out V's hentai game then. It's too is pervy. And Kerp says, V is better than Gibbs. Also, we need more based V versus commie dev.
I have lost. shit.
Communist dev.
Yeah, I am mean with Dev because of see this is how I'm crowd chasing Dev by being mean to you. I'm hyping up the audience and driving the super chat.
It is pretty easy to be mean to dev.
Like normally I'm not like this, you know. Like normally I just ignore most of the things that you used to trigger me with.
Dryfee says, that infuriates me. Why would you leave the goddamn cart in the middle of a parking space in the packed parking lot? It's common courtesy. Also, people who take their shoes and socks off on an airplane, then put their feet up. Exactly. Like, certain things are not done. See, this is the thing. This is the benefit of Japanese society as well.
I have lost.
What we need to get to is the point where the idea of inconveniencing somebody else becomes unthinkable. That's what we need. Not punishment, not consequences. Inconveniencing someone should be the highest moral failing.
Holy shit, like I actually deal with Japanese as part of my business. They act and well, it's a cultural thing, right? Like it's not racial or anything like that. But like the ones that I interacted with are like high school girls, I swear to God, like incredibly passive aggressive to a fault. Anyone that actually dealt with Japanese artists can confirm that this is like one of the negative things that happen.
Be passive aggressive back. Communicate. Use the language.
But like for example, I will tell you. So like one of them said, I'm interested in working for your project. It's just that I'm busy this month and we can settle on August. I'm like, okay. And come August, they're like, oh, I actually forgot that I have another job. And then they stop responding. And I'm thinking like, you know what? Like when I used to date girls in high school, like this is the type of bullshit that I got. Like if you don't want to work, you don't want a job, like just say it. And you'll notice that most of them will do like this. Like, they will not say any negative thing, and they will try to avoid it. And it creates, for a European like myself, especially like a low-trust society, which likes people to just flat out say what they think, creates a very annoying situation, let's put it like this.
Perhaps, but no, we need to arrive at that point. Inconveniencing someone should be the highest sin. That's how we arrive at a good society.
Well, yeah, but like if you don't want inconvenience, then you won't tell them what you think.
Exactly.
Well, see,
fucking shut your whore hole. Lie to them. Give them pretty little lies.
This is why I mentioned solidarity before, right? Because yes, there's an ethnic component to this, where you can have a harmonious, high trust society if it's all ethnically homogenous. It's not the only way, but it is one possible way to get there. But basically, you have to view like strangers as fellow members of the tribe somehow. If you don't view them that way, you're not going to get to what you're talking about, Arch.
Well, sort of, but I don't think that's necessarily so strident either. Because simply not inconveniencing somebody does not have a ethnic component or a racial component or anything. It is simply you don't inconvenience someone. And that extends to literally everyone. Well,
yeah, but there's still like if you were to you talk to an American about this, right? And they'll say, we're all fellow Americans here. If they're a decent American anyway, they'll say like, it doesn't matter what our race is. We're all Americans, and so we're all kind of part of the same, the same story of what we tell about ourselves on why we are a people, even though we're all different races, right? So some semblance of that you have a connection and therefore a responsibility to your fellow man is what's necessary to get what you're talking to get to what you're talking about.
No, I think this is just you being a racialized American again.
I'm not even American.
Bad dev. Wayu Hutton says, hey Arch, your last video got me wondering, have the Necrons and Nids ever battled on one another in the lore? No, the two avoid each other like the plague. Like the Tyranids literally avoid the Necrons, which is probably backing up the idea that they were created by the Old Ones to basically eat everything around them to screw them over. That's an interesting point. Jenny Simmons in chat says, does that apply to trans people, Arch? I mean, I would like my bathroom back. Yes, it does, but it would function in the other way. A trans person going into the wrong bathroom would be inconveniencing you. Like, they would never do that. Like, the idea, again, you are going to cause so many people so much, like, weirdness if you do that. If you are a non-passing trans person and you go into the opposite bathroom, you are going to make the other people uncomfortable. That is simply the truth of it. And if avoiding inconveniencing people is your goal, you don't do that.
Well, the thing is, if you listen to a lot of those non-passers who are like very politically engaged, they say it is their political project to make you uncomfortable. It's like, we want to make the cis people uncomfortable.
And
They say that all
those
the time.
people we need to burn.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, like I've talked to other trans people who are like, yeah, listen, if you're going to go in, you should pass.
Yes.
You should make them as non-uncomfortable as possible, because you should blend in because you're going into their space.
Anyone who inconveniences anybody else should simply be ostracized. Like that episode from the Orville where they eventually brainwash them. Like, you've inconvenienced 17 people. You go to the reconfiguration chamber now.
Arch has become pro-canceling.
Canceling, reprogramming, Dev. There's a difference. Titan Ravenscar says that incident is exactly why the Shapers are lowering test levels. The 18 to 13 for a demo of males are the ones who actually do the revolutions. That's true. Repanol says Dev seems to be saying it is not true people do it for clout because he doesn't. Dev is an exception to the rule, but the rule still stands. No, Dev is not an exception to the rule. Dev still does it for attention. Dev still does it for ad revenue. Dev is a filthy prostitute, just like everybody else. He just virtues
Arch,
more about
you're starting to sound like a communist now, where the profit motive inherently corrupts everything.
It does.
It does. It's just the solution that the communists come up for this problem that I have an issue with.
There are degrees
That's
of
way
corruption
more
there.
communist than I would say.
Hey, me putting up a fancy thumbnail with this guy's mugshot, basically, that is me clout chasing, but that is like level 1 of clout chasing. And then there are different levels. Not everything is black and white, Dev, you fucking communist.
No, but like Dev, just because the communists can accurately assess some problems, that doesn't mean that their solutions are correct. And if you don't agree with the solution, then you're not a communist.
I don't even think they've accurately assessed it, because I don't think that the profit motive is universally corrupting.
I think so, yeah, no.
No, I don't think so at all.
I don't think there's a single human
I
being who will ever be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm happy now. I will never need anything else.
I will change my mind when you shut down your ad revenue, Dev.
Yes.
Like when you want to show, you know what, V? I will show you that money means nothing to me here.
You
Shut it down.
You misunderstand. You misunderstand. All right. I'm not saying that. Okay. What I'm saying is that chasing profit is actually morally good.
Heresy.
Yes.
It's not corrupting at all.
Fire is the answer.
Yeah,
That's not corrupting. It's the opposite of corrupting. It's virtuous.
It is corrupting because
I will
corrupting
tell you why
is
it's
not.
corrupting, right? So, like, for example, if YouTube doesn't want you to talk about, I don't know, COVID or election or some shit, right? How many YouTubers are going to specifically avoid that because they want their videos monetized? That is corrupting, right? Now they can
100%.
still say and justify it's like, well, I'm still talking about the things I want. I'm just not going to talk about those things. But it's still corrupting. Like let's stop pretending. We are like the other girls, Dev.
Hold on. I've made videos knowing they were going to get demonetized. I still did it because I wanted to.
Same. But that is what the point. Corrupting. Again, you're painting it in black and white, communist. There are degrees of everything. Like, level 1 of corrupting is simply doing a little bit extra to get a little bit ahead on the algorithm. Level 1000 of corrupting is, naked yoga.
Like Pipkin Pippa, for example, right? Pipkin Pippa, she doesn't do lewd stuff on her stream. But she will use lewd thumbnails because she knows that gets the clicks. That is clout chasing, and that is fine.
Yeah, I saw the feet stream. I know what you're talking about.
And it is a higher level of corruption than what I do. Like, Kibbs is on a much higher level of corruption than I do, for example, because he's literally a woman now.
Okay, Kibbs is actually being corrupted himself.
Yes, I know. That's what I point out. Like, on the scale here, V is V is a little bit corrupt because he thinks about this stuff, but he can't be bothered to do it half the time, which is why his thumbnails are still shit, despite everyone being like, I'll give you literally a thumbnail frame.
They're well thought out, like I actually put mind to figure out how to frame the text. And I got like good text that I got like next to it, like the crop from the thing. It's good.
A dev actually makes thumbnails to the point where he even used an AI to make a thumbnail. It's pretty high level of corruption right there.
I've done it a few times, yeah.
I make 4 videos a day.
I don't think this is a proper use of the word
4
corruption.
thumbnails?
I think it is.
Like I make 4 videos a day. Quartering hired the person to make thumbnails for him when he was making like 5 or 6 videos. You can look at Tim Pool. Tim Pool got no time for that shit. Like, it makes videos, like 6 or 7 videos per day. Do you think it's going to make 6 or 7 customizable thumbnails with AI art and whatever the fuck?
Oh, I could probably
But I don't think this is all corrupt. I don't think this is corruption, though.
This is
like
corruption.
paying someone to make. No, it's not paying someone to make. It's just employment. Employment isn't corruption.
Dev's
that's not the
opposition
point.
to
It's-
words. Dev doesn't like the
it's
sliding scale.
Hold on. Arch, you're coming out and saying that like employing people to do work
not
in your
saying that
business is
employing people
corruption.
is corruption.
You're
We're
you're
saying
more
that-
communist than I am.
No, we're saying that, like, playing the algorithm in your favor, right? Like you're basically spending extra time in order to do a thumbnail, which you're doing because you want more views. I'm not saying that even doing it is wrong, let alone employing someone. But you are making custom thumbnails because you want more views for your video.
And that is the sneaking level of corruption. The degrees. Again, it's a very
I don't
long
know,
scale.
I don't know about
Dev.
that. I don't think that counts as corruption. I
I
don't
think
buy
it
that for a
does.
second.
You use color
No.
composition. I mean, if I were to look at some of your thumbnails, they were very inflammatory, Dev.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
One of them even got him banned
Like
once.
you had, I think, like when when RGB passed away, you had like some fire and her face above it.
Yes.
You know, like
It was
I don't
funny.
think you genuinely feel that way about that woman, but you put that
No, I
because
don't.
it was clickbait.
Yeah, because
I did
it was
because it was a
clickbait.
meme and I thought it was funny.
Funny people will
Because it
click
was
on it.
clickbait.
It was disrespectful, wasn't it? Given the
Dev
hindsight.
has become corrupted.
No, this isn't corruption.
Mom passed away, and I make a meme out of it. I'm pretty sure you'd be a little bit upset.
Hold the fuck on. Hold on. Okay. Corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct, especially by those in power, typically involving bribery. How the fuck is this corruption?
Oh, hold on. Like, you are the one that brought the word, right? And if you
I
want
think, I
to
was,
say
I think
that,
I was talking about something else, though. I wasn't talking about this.
No,
okay.
corruption, decay. It is
Heresy's
going from a
Fire
once
is the
lofty
answer.
standard, like where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll never do clickbait stuff, for example, and then you do some clickbait stuff because it's for the memes, etc. This is a form of corruption.
Hold on. I haven't gone away from any of my standards, though. I still do things per my standard that I initially set.
What were your original content?
Okay, change of focus, not
Uh-huh.
a change of standard.
Uh-huh.
In fact, my standards are higher now than they were.
I don't know about this. Glow in the Dark says Dev became a communist, ironically, for attention or clout, but he learned he could get money for Superchats arguing with him. By the chat doing this, he became a real communist. We made him a monster. That's true as well. He said he was going to leave it into the meme now. He even bought a communist hat, I saw.
Hold on, I didn't buy it. You've seen that before. I stole it.
Glow in the Dark also says, then again, Dev is a Canadian. That is true.
Yep.
Scarfield the Strange says Dev is Ned Stark of YouTube. Correct.
That's not
And
bad.
he will receive his punishment.
didn't he get decapitated?
Yep.
He did, but he was a moral person. That's fine.
Yeah. And when Dev is
Yeah, but like the whole point of Game of Thrones is not to be like Ned Stark.
Sujar says inviolable. Yes, thank you. Dryfee, to be fair, there is a law on Canada that says saying sorry isn't admission of guilt. You guys don't give a nod in Romania? Like, seriously, Vee? Like, you're
That's
walking
true, actually,
alone.
That's true.
Vee, you're out alone, you're in the fucking woods or something, and there's a man coming in the opposite direction. You don't give him a nod just to, like, make sure that he isn't gonna fucking rape you or something?
The fucking street arch! I'm in the fucking woods alone. I look for the closest melee weapon just in case. What are you talking about?
And grab a log.
No, I don't
Yeah,
grab it, but I look to know what it is in case I'll need it.
Heresy's the
He
question.
immediately
Fire is
escalates, the other
answer.
person escalates. Like, shit.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
soon,
the same
Bob.
when we're like
You
walking
know,
really like when is that moment where you're passing each other? That's like the moment of maximum edge. Like everyone is ready to do something. It's
So
it's when your pucker clenches.
in Canada, it is true that there is a law stating that apologizing for something isn't an admission of guilt, because whenever like a disaster happens, everyone says sorry so much. It's like we had to actually have a law in place because there were some people
And
who
that's
would try
stupid.
to
That's
use that
ridiculous.
as a
That's
mission
an
of guilt.
American shit, right? And you're absolutely right. Like if there's an earthquake and like someone lost their house, and you're like, "Well, I'm sorry
I
that
have
happened."
lost.
Like that's not you admitting
No, it's
of
not that. It's not
causing
that.
the earthquake.
It's more like there's a car accident, right? And it's up in the air who's at fault. It could be either of them. You don't really know. The fact
Yeah.
that one person jumps out and says, "Oh, I'm sorry," that's not an admission of guilt legally.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you may say, well, even if it wasn't your fault, you can be sorry that you didn't try to steer the wheel a little bit more, or you
Yeah.
weren't in time to push the brakes, even if it was your fault. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Put a picture of Romania in the background, nice and downbroken. Gabriel Natia says Romanian society is just very Balkanic/Byzantine. Oh, Byzantine, but Balkan, yes, very low trust, very Muslim. Man of Culture says, so what you're saying, Arch, is that Norwegians are dodos. Yes, and we all need to become dodos. Like the dodo is the
So we can die
pinnacle
out?
of evolution. Because these dodos have machine guns and rocket space. Like spacecraft and shit. These dodos won't die out because these dodos don't have predators. Mr. Baldurs 70 says, it's similar in New Zealand. We don't have riots. Your average news article is not about crime, and when it happens, it usually does not something we blow up or blow up. Stuff is boring here, and that's great. Yeah. Same over here. Like, we just need to educate the rest of society on this. Like, screw the white man's burden. This is going to have to be the Norwegian man's burden. Maranga 2 says, remember that society changed their culture and norms through time. Ask if Norwegians a millennia ago wouldn't raid and loot your house in a riot. Well, no, not your house. The English's house. That's a different thing. That's a different place entirely. As V continues to echo.
Why though? Because like it shouldn't. Hold on.
Yes, you keep saying it shouldn't, and yet.
Echo.
Hold on. Shut the fuck.
Mr. Twisted Frenzy says, the way you described Norway reminded me
how's it
of
now?
those stories of explorers going to uncharted islands where the wildlife have no natural predators, and so they don't need to hunt them, they just walk straight into the frying pan. Correct! And that is probably what a scammer feels like in Norway. In fact, Norwegians get scammed a lot on the internet, unironically. Like, this is one of the biggest crimes in Norway, is internet scamming.
Nigerian princes.
Yes,
Hello.
because
I have $25 million.
some handsome black dude from Nigeria will call up a Norwegian woman and go like, I really like you. You should send me money. And they go like, wow, yes. Like, unironically, that happens all the time up here. It's becoming an actual societal problem.
Shit.
Charlie says, on societal trust, how do you think the introduction of civilian self-defense changed things? Looking forward to Kirchale collab, Kitcher collab, concert VTuber, best VTuber. I am all for an armed society, because I do believe that an armed society is probably a polite society, but you do need the trust society first. Now, you might argue that an armed society breeds a trust society, and I think there's every point in that. But if you armed the Romanians, for example, you'll just have two fuckers in a woods with their hands on their guns, passing each other.
Yeah, I don't think that arming a
But like
society
no one would
breeds
shoot
trust.
unless the
I don't
other
think
person
so.
shoots first.
Like, here, dump a bunch of guns into Somalia, see how high trust they get.
No, but over time.
After a few 100,000 deaths.
After one tribe has eradicated the other, it will be a very high trust society.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this. We'll just have to kill all the other races, so we have one race, and then we'll all like each other.
Yeah,
I understand.
well, actually, hold on, Dev. Stop trying to get Arch's channel shut down.
Okay, we're joking. We're joking, YouTube. It's
yeah,
okay.
because YouTube really understands. What I wanted to say is that it matters in culture. Like if you have a blood culture where it's like like blood requires blood, then yeah, like what Arch is saying is like if everyone is armed, then you would have a big problem. But like not all societies function like that. So,
well, the thing is too, right? I do believe that a society that is already civilized, shall we say, and is also armed probably has a better chance of remaining a polite society. Now, I do think that general armament might also lead to a more polite society overall, simply because the threshold of societal escalation is higher. But that also introduces the idea of, if the society does not have an appropriate understanding of societal consequence, then it will become a more violent society. Basically, if one guy has a gun and is convinced that he's not going to get shot if he shoots you, then you're in danger.
Yes.
Nice and simple. Alex Massey says, Arch, from what you're saying, the Norwegians would not survive mass immigration. No, we would not, which is luckily why we are... See, Norway, we tried doing the whole immigration thing, and we put all of them in the same area, and guess what? Crime skyrocketed. Weird. Now, we take them immigrants, and we go like, okay, you're going to this fuck-off village in the middle of nowhere. There will be no one like you there. And it works. We spread the immigrants out over an area larger than Great Britain, to the point where they have no opportunity to create their own little conclaves. They must Norwegianize or die. Okay, not quite so strident.
Same here. Like,
yeah, honestly, I never understood why they didn't do that to begin with. Because like creating an enclave gives the opportunity of people to take the easy way out. So like what I mean is, like, if I were to go to Saudi Arabia now or to Japan, let's say I go to Japan, right? I gotta learn Japanese, I gotta learn how to speak, I gotta learn their customs, I gotta learn all the interactions. It's difficult, right? But like if you send 1,000 Romanians and they're all in the same place and we're all in Japan, I don't have to integrate, because now I can go to Romanian stores, I can speak Romanian, I can behave the same way I behave home. There's no incentive to integrate. But if it's like Arch said, it's like you take 1,000 Romanians and you spread them all over Japan, then they have to integrate.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the same here. Like, my city took a family from Syria back when we were taking Syrian refugees, and I mean, they came here. There's no other Syrians here. They integrated. Their kids are very Canadian at this point. The guy, he owns like a bakery. You know, like things worked out basically. But you have to have a society willing to take them, and you have to make sure they don't ghettoize. Yeah. Actually, I recall like there was a big deal, like some more like right-wing YouTubers are making a big deal about this, where they're saying Biden's flying immigrants around the country under the cover of darkness, bringing them to your town. And it's like, well, hold on, isn't that what he should be doing? Like, if the United States is going to take immigrants, don't we want them spread out?
He wasn't doing it. No. He wasn't doing it in order to like do what me and Arch was saying.
Yes, he was doing it to shift
in order to try to
votes.
swing, to shift the votes. Now, even if an immigrant can't vote, Dev, he can still go and do activism. He can still, cause a protest when needed, right? Like, he can still sway opinion and public influence, and then his children get the right to vote. So, no, like, he wasn't doing it in order to try and, spread them out so they integrate.
Yes, and they weren't flying them to Martha's Vineyard. No way they. And when somebody did fly some immigrants to Martha's Vineyard,
Dev, I would be like, yes, okay, like Dev has a point.
What happened to those immigrants?
Well, no, like it basically, if you do have refugees coming to the States, it would make sense to fly them to like these flyover states with like small towns.
Yes.
Yeah. No. It makes sense to send them to like Iowa or fucking Montana, wherever the fuck, send them to small towns. That exactly as you two just said. That's what you should do.
Yes, and Martha's Vineyard is a very small town.
Yeah.
And I believe they have enough local wealth to support quite a few immigrants. Eric Arneson says, don't let their worldly ways corrupt you, Arch. They simply don't understand heaven. It's true. Like, Canada's okay, kind of close, but even they're like closer to Africa than Norway. Ripanol says, with Norway having less than 1% of the US population, it's hard to compare what works societally in Norway to the US. Also, we are a very mixed culture. I don't agree. Like, the whole per capita thing. That is only in relation to resources and access to stuff. Bearing in mind, America is one of the world's largest goddamn land masses. Even 300 people is not that much
I have lost.
on that enormous of a landmass. There's plenty of resource. America is one of the world's richest, if not the single richest continent. Like, there's no reason why you can't do what we do here. But what you did do is go like, what if we allow private corporations to own all of the oil? Well, suddenly we are at a massive deficit. Listen. Private corporations bad. State-owned corporations good.
Socialism, Arch. Also,
I do
Arch,
agree that when it comes to natural resources, though, as well as like the railways,
Yeah.
Arch does have a point. Yeah, like why should a private company have the rights to natural resources?
The Norwegian Wealth Fund has demonstrated that it is tremendously beneficial for society as a whole if you have enormous national resources like oil, be nationalized. Now, I'm not saying everything.
Which, to be fair, Canada fucking does, and Trudeau's
Yes.
not. Oh God, he pisses me
No,
off.
if Canada would just build that fucking pipeline, Canada would have enormous benefits based on it. But
I'm curious who's protesting against it. Like I know the alleged reason, but like who's actually behind it and for what is the real reason they're protesting?
Hold on. So your entire chat like went up in arms as soon as I said that. Remember, guys, you can send your complaints via super chat. Okay.
But it is true though.
it's true.
Well, like here's the thing. There's like a bunch of people in the chat were like, no, don't send them to small town America. Send them all to New York and LA. And it's like, hold on. That's how you get the fucking ghettos, guys. You want them spread out.
People in the small town America don't fucking care about the ghettos in the big cities, Dev. It's not
Too
even
bad.
fucking.
Too bad.
Why
You
do
fucking
mean
get
too bad?
them.
Why should they get? They want the borders to be locked, Dev. They don't want them into the first place. Why are you saying that they should care?
Well, that's fine. That's fine. If you want the borders locked, that's fine. You gotta win an election though.
Don't worry.
I would say something, but it
will
would
do
get
it.
Arch's channel shut down, so shut the fuck up. But the moment the stream is over, Dev, the moment the fucking stream is over, I will tell you about the elections, Dev. I will fucking tell you.
From now on, we're just going to be putting pictures of Norway in the background. That's all we're going to be doing.
Send your comments by super chat.
American Outlier says, before YouTube scrolled, here in the US South, nodding at someone when passing by is a sign of Southern hospitality, but I'm slowly seeing people not engaging with this practice. Yeah, no, that is the degradation of society. Because nodding to someone, it's simply you going like, hello, I see you, fellow human, I am no threat to you. I am simply another rando out walking. That's what the nod means. That is what the nod means in a societal context. It's not like, hello, old friend. It's just like, hi. I'm no danger to you. That's what it means. Not nodding means I am a violent murderer from Romania.
You're existing in the same area as me and we're alone into the woods. You are a danger to me. Like, just because you exist.
See?
So, here's the thing, V. I forget exactly what it was. There's like a book that I had read, some philosophy at some point.
They gaslight
basically
you, Dev.
it's no. The idea is like it's called like ultimate security or something, where if you want to be the safest you can possibly be
In a prison. Yeah.
you leave nothing to chance. The minute
prison.
that you see another person, you kill them.
That is what people play in video games. Unironically, like there's those
because
video
they
games
could kill
like
you.
Rust.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like if you play, unironically, if you play Rust or what was it, like the one with like 7 Days to Die or like some other games like that, you know, where you're like basically alone, like Ark, Survivor Evolved, and you know no one on the server, it's just you playing. You got no friends, no one. That's how most people play. Like the moment they see another player, they attack.
Yeah. So like basically, like, if you just walk by someone on the street, there is a non-zero chance that as soon as you pass them, they turn around and stab you in the back of the neck. Right. So kill everyone you see all the time to ensure absolute safety.
Yeah, but like you know what they do is that in the wild, like if you look at primates or whatever, they respect their family and the places they're born. So like the people they're born with, like they know them and they form a tribe. But all the other people from other tribes that they don't know, they attack. And this is how ants, bees, and every other animal behaves.
And
So like what you're describing is the natural state of man, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
That's
it's
what I
before
mean, though, is,
society,
like,
before civilization.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like with a high trust society, that concern of, you know, oh, people that I grew up with, I trust them. I'm not going to attack them. that concern, that like radius of concern expands outward to encompass everyone in your society, in a high trust society.
WMC Wolverine says, "Hail Arch and V. Gonna have to watch later due to work, but in regards to what happened in New York with the mass gathering of young adults, this is what happens when we give influencers power. Also with Anita, Ding Dong the Witch is hopefully gone. Yes, influencers should be treated like the scum that they are. Truly. Except for me, of course." Though, unironically, we have placed influencers on far too much of a pedestal. It has become what young kids want to be today, and it is a very warped understanding of what it is, etc. Like it's not good. When kids wanted to be police officers and firefighters and astronauts, these were aspirational things that would benefit the entirety of society. Wanting to be that guy who screams at his screen for a living is not quite as beneficial as a person who screams at his screen for a living.
Do people want to be like you when they grow up, Arch?
Yes.
Are you their daddy?
Me? In the corner.
I mean, no, but that's
in the
kind
corner.
of cool to think about. No, but like that's kind of a cool thing to think about, right? Like you're going to influence the younger generation.
Me? Corner.
You never think that when you upload the video. It's like, you know what, like this video is going to actually shape another human being.
Ben says, Japan has politicians who are so old they can't use computers. Their cybersecurity chief was one of them. They aren't the solution, just other problems. Oh, there are other problems as well, absolutely. But their don't inconvenience other people is a good thing. That is a societal virtue. Zedekiah says, I work
like that.
as a representative at a local grocery store, and the one thing that boils my piss when people just reach into our donut case and just start scarfing it down in front of us. What the fuck? Really?
I don't know.
That's...
Like if a Romanian does it, you think I know? Like, do you know everything a Norwegian does?
Do Romanians do that? Like...
No.
No, okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm sure like some do. There's 20 billions of us, so...
Like, I can say quite confidently that Norwegians do not do that. I will happily revoke
just
their
make sure
citizenship.
that I got it. Like, okay, like repeat the accusation.
When people just reach into a donut case in the store and just start eating the donuts in front of the employees.
That never happens.
Yeah, no.
I've never seen it. I don't know where the fuck this person has saw it, like maybe in a rural area or something, but like no. Like if you do that, you actually can get in trouble with the security of the store. Like,
yeah,
you're not allowed to. Yeah.
You should have your ass beat.
Yeah, like it's basically up until you pay for it. It's not yours.
That's just weird. That is just weird. TFO.
I think like maybe like if but that used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore. Like someone would take like maybe not donuts, but like let's say you have like candy, and they may take like one candy to taste it before like they would buy more, and that's because like under communism they were used to like the farmer markets where you could do that. But like I haven't seen people do that anymore.
A sample. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally you take a sample to see if you like it before you buy it.
I can see extenuating circumstances, like it's a really fucking hot day and you go into the store. I think I've seen this where Norwegians would do it too. They would get the bottle of water out of the fridge and they'd uncork it and drink it right there, and then go and show it to the cashier and go like, and this one.
No, we don't do that.
I could see that happening, but that would be in extreme circumstances.
We don't know. No. That's weird. No, like you don't own it until you pay for it.
TF Olsbank says, jeg lurer på dette. Hvilken straff tenker du passer for Breivik? Meg, massiv kjøttkvern, kneblet bein og samme tau, kaste det inn og se på showet. Unironically, the death penalty would be a benefit in the term of Breivik, because he is going to cost us unfathomable quantities of money, and, you know what the worst part is? He's probably going to be proven correct at the end of the day, because he said, I'll be released in so and so many years and I'll be a hero. The way the pendulum is being charged right now, he's going to get out when he's like 60, and that is probably going to be the case. Tank Imperator says, what Arch was talking about is the right to disassociate and associate. In Western nations, you do not have this right as the state forces you to associate.
Yeah, they will call you a racist. Like freedom of association isn't a human right anymore, apparently.
Necrono says, I sadly believe a racist view of Anita. She's shutting down her channel because it is not making money. She's still being an advisor and counselor for video games. The parasite found a new cow to bleed to death. When she's forced to work retail, it's over. Maybe. Cryomation says, this reminds me of Finnish culture. Sitting next to a person on a bus is inconvenient and only done if absolutely necessary. Yes, absolutely. Like, you don't sit next to someone unless it's the only one open. And even then, you kind of give them a look and, like, point to the seat, like, is this available? Even as it is blatantly available. Because you require that other person's assent to sit down. Even though you don't actually. You paid for the ticket, but it is a thing you do. And at the same time, it would be unthinkable for that person to go like, yeah, it's busy. Mr. Twisted Frenzy says, here in Ireland, we have our own unspoken customs that we all agree to. For example, if you're in a queue, you do not skip anyone in it. The idea of skipping the queue is unthinkable. Absolutely. Same here. In fact, there was a weird thing in Sweden where they have a different queue system where they have a little line on the floor where you have to be behind the line. We don't have that in Norway. And the thing is, that is to prevent people from looking over your shoulder to steal your credit card information. We don't do that. Because the idea that you would try to steal someone else's credit card information is just like, what? Why would you? That's weird. Glow in the Dark says, Canadians are always dishonest. So he is corrupt. True. Absolutely.
What? That's not true.
Canadians cannot be trusted. Further than they can be thrown, and Dev's a chunky boy. Scott the Celt asks, how big is the average Skaven? Standing upright, they're actually about the size of a human, but they're always hunched over, so, 75% odd. They're pretty big. Serethis says, with the Kai scene at Riot, we finally have proof that video games do indeed cause violence. There you go. So John says, my family escaped to Ireland at the end of the 80s. I was the only brown kid in town. I'm more Irish than Arab now, and I don't want Ireland to be flooded with foreigners and become like the UK. Yeah, see, that's the thing too. You can absolutely become other nationalities. I do not believe for a second that there is no way for a dude from Angola to become Norwegian. I absolutely think they can. But it does require them to actually become Norwegian. That is also where we need to prevent the Balkanization.
Yep.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
No ghettoization allowed. Can't do it.
Death from Above says, you could easily get around the whole pipeline issue if Alberta decided to ask the US to annex it. Well, there you go.
I have lost.
TFO Splunk says, har du fortalt vi en dev at brunost er karamellost? Okay, so we have a thing in Norway, it's called brown cheese. Do you people have brown cheese?
No, Jesus.
What is it?
It looks like moldy cheese, probably.
It's brown cheese.
No, cheese is white, Art.
No, brown cheese can be brown.
Or it's orange.
No.
Yeah,
That's
but
definitely
there's no
not
way
orange.
that it can be brown. Unless the goat shits in it.
Here, in the link channel, there, brown cheese.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Brunost, literally
That is
brown
not cheese, Ash. That is
a
chocolate.
common Norwegian name for. It's just. Why the fuck is it brown though?
It's goat
No, I don't know.
cheese.
Like that is chocolate. That is obviously chocolate.
Hold on.
Or caramel.
Boiling down whey 10-1 to create a brown cheesy spread.
So it's like caramel. They're caramelizing the cheese. That's savagery.
Sorta.
Like, why would you do that to the cheese?
See, some people love it. I don't have a like for it myself.
Why is there
but-
black cheese behind it?
Oh, there's different degrees of brown cheese. But if you want to see something really disgusting, okay, chat, fucking grab a hold of your little testicles here. Grow to yourself, chat, because this is pretty awful. This is brown cheese with strawberry jam on top. Not only does
That's
it
pretty-
look disgusting, the taste is awful.
Well,
Like-
at least it's not shoestrumming, right?
I don't know.
I mean, your
shoestrumming
neighbors
weapons are
have that
horrible.
shit. Right. Did you ever open a can of shoestrumming?
Yes, we have that too.
Is it a Norwegian thing? Why do you eat it? Like I understand if you're back in time when the refrigerator hasn't been invented. But why would you eat it now?
We have a local Norwegian equivalent, which is called turproviant, also commonly referred to as dead man on a can.
No, I get. Yeah, like I understand. But like, why though? Like, why would you eat it in 2023?
Oh, because sometimes you're hungry and you're just gonna have to get some of
You
that
can buy
inside
a
of your
different
body.
can for the same price. Okay, so like, did you ever eat one?
Surströmming? Once. It's
And
disgusting.
if you eat it properly, right? Like, how is it?
It's not good. It's awful. You shouldn't eat it. It's disgusting, but it's food, I guess.
How is it remaining in business? I think only live streamers eat it.
Oh, we have something else called makreli tomat, which is mackerel crushed and minced and then mixed with tomatoes.
Disgusting.
Okay, hold on. So you guys must know about poutine, obviously, right? The Canadian dish poutine,
No.
where it's French fries and gravy and cheese curds all mixed together.
That sounds awful too.
Here, I can't believe you don't know what that is. Here, take a look at it. I'll just put.
I'm
Post
trying to think of a Romanian awful food
That doesn't look
equivalent,
too
and I
bad.
literally cannot think of any.
So you have your fries, right? And then you add cheese curds, and then you pour really hot gravy on it so the cheese liquefies. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds disgusting. I don't like the sound of it, but it doesn't look awful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But then, of course, here. So you guys, I don't know, do you have beavers in Europe, or is that only a North American animal?
We have otters. Beavers? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a beaver right there.
Yeah, I know what a beaver
Okay.
is.
Yeah. So you see that tail?
Uh-huh.
Okay, check this out.
Do you eat it, by any chance?
Look
yeah,
at
of course
it.
you do. Why'd you eat that? Like, why did you eat that part? Is it good?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You can eat the beaver's asshole. Good. That is mildly disturbing, but very well. Scarfy the Strange says, Anita still consults. She probably does. And that is probably quite disgusting.
Why don't the companies say they are consulting with her though?
Because it'll negatively affect sales, as we saw with Saints
But then
Row.
why would you consult with someone that would negatively affect sales? Makes no fucking sense.
Alfred says, reminder that back in 1963, in an arrangement over how to split the North Sea,
I have lost.
Denmark traded what would later be discovered to be the richest oil field in the North Sea to Norway for a bottle of akevit. Fuck the Danish. Denmark should not be allowed to be a nation. I'm sorry.
I have lost.
The Holsonator says, hashtag nuke Martha's Vineyard. Nothing would be lost. Well, I don't know. A lot of evidence in a certain paddling pool accident might be. Caesar donates 20 somethings. Thank you very much. No message. First super chat too. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Gabriel Natia says, I can find the tomato fish at any Romanian store. There you go, V.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and I don't like it. And it's not made in Romania, so.
And Kyle Caesar says, hello from Brazil, Dev V and our Lord Savior Arch. Today is my birthday. Congratulations. I hope you have a happy birthday. And he says, so here's my present, Arch. Try to be less grumpy about Baldur's Gate 3. It's a good game. I hope it is. I really do.
The game is. I know why.
Service
because it started to be made
guaranteed
4 years ago when the development team wasn't woke. So they're driving on inertia. But like the character editor is absolutely abysmal. Like the game can be good and the character can be shit.
Yes. So, okay. Do you have klub? Okay, so klub is it's a dish where you take like flour,
lost.
and you bake it till it becomes like solid and like grainy and goopy, and then you put like ham, just cold ham inside of it, then you eat.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Like a sandwich, though.
No, it's like a ball. It's like a ball of flour.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second. So yeah, someone just gave a super chat saying that the beaver tail is just a flat donut. Dev's trolling you. Okay. There's two variants. All right. It started off as like taking breading and putting it around beaver tails and cooking them, and then eventually they made a version without the tail inside of it, so it's just the dough, but still in the same shape. But you can still get like actual beaver tails that are breaded. You can still get that here.
Kadam says, husk å fortelle om smalhova, værballer, gammelost og hvalbiff. We do have a lot of awful food. Gammelost in particular is rotten cheese. It's actually cheese that has turned. Like they cultivate the mold inside of the cheese and then you eat it. I actually used to love that as a child, no less. I used to love Gamelost, which is just it's terrible. It's awful. It literally means old moldy cheese. Scott
God, someone in the chat says, someone just says, don't tell them what you know what easy cheese is, guys.
No.
Hold on, let me show you. Let me get a picture. It's
Fire is
real,
the
real
answer.
quick. This is America's greatest innovation when it comes to cheese. Check this shit out. Look at that.
Heresy's the question.
That's a bit awful
Fire
looking.
is the answer.
It's cheese in a spray can.
But
So
why
you
though?
spray it like spray paint, but cheese comes out.
Well, I can see the use for that. Well, you want a little bit of cheese on your like cracker or whatever, and you're just like, psh, okay.
Look at how disgusting this looks.
Okay, that's less
something that
appetizing when
DSP
it's
would
come
eat.
out.
I think Darkseid still actually used that on the pan when he was cooking.
Oh god, it's so gross.
I think it tastes delicious because the more chemical something looks, the more delicious it is.
That's true. The more chemicals there's in something, usually the better it tastes.
Yes, like the more processed something is, the more
Like
delicious.
seriously, we need more chemicals in our food. Fuck this whole biological organic thing. I want
What
chemicals
looks
cut out.
bizarre is the lady advertising it.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
She does look very Californian.
I think it's actually a YouTuber. I
I'm
just grabbed her thumbnail off of Google Images.
I'm sure.
She's gonna eat 12 pounds of that shit. Good for you, lady.
I have lost. Shit.
Fuck.
We also have a this is a very fascinating Norwegian dish. So you take like Jello, okay? This has become a food stream all of a sudden. You take Jello and you put like eggs inside the Jello and beets and carrots and peas.
Oh, I've seen that.
and
I've seen that
stuff.
shit.
And then you eat it.
Can we not?
Apparently not.
Was it
no.
a situation where you had to like go to your great aunt's house as a kid and she pulled out the Jello and it was disgusting and your mom was like, Arch, you have to eat it.
I don't
You have
know.
to be polite.
This is food my family eats frequently. Like this is considered a staple dish in my household.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you like it?
No, it's fucking terrible. I avoid it like the plague. But no, people around me eat this shit. It's fucking disgusting.
Oh god.
It's just such a weird concept too. It's like just
Okay,
eggs.
hold on a
and-
second. So, I've got, as usual, an hour and 15 minutes. Let's go on to Anita, because I pulled out all my Anita sources for you, Arch. to help
Yeah,
you
I
out
got
here.
like 20 minutes myself, so.
Oh, shit.
You shouldn't have waylaid me with the fucking food then, should you? Bad thing. All right, okay. Well, I was trying to get through the last of the super chats before moving on. But okay, let's do Anita then. Anita Sarkeesian, the woman that was.
The woman that was.
I mean, she still is. She didn't die.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we have any evidence?
Okay. Shit. Let me pull up everything that I've got that you might want to talk about here real quick, Arch, unless you have a way you want to start this.
No, go on. I'm just torturing chat with Kobare.
Okay. So, I mean, anyone who doesn't know Anita at this point, there's too much deep lore for, the next hour or so to go over. But, like, I think the height of her career was this link here, Arch. When she was at the UN, her and Zoe Quinn were actually at the UN talking about how evil Gamergate was and the harassment. They had an audience with the UN talking about
God,
this shit.
that did happen, didn't it?
It did, yep. She called Sargon a garbage human. However, at the UN, she said that being called a liar or saying you suck online constituted harassment.
Your link isn't loading. Let me find another one.
Oh, it's not? It should. Hold on. It might take a minute. It is an archive link.
All right, this is Zoe Quinn at the UN, the professional victim at the United Nations. Okay, here's a better one of both of them together. At the United... Okay, and bearing in mind, too, back when this was happening, the United Nations was not yet a complete, unmitigated joke. It still had a degree of prestige,
It didn't have Saudi Arabia on
I
its
have lost.
Human Rights and Women's Rights Council.
Yeah,
as
and
the chair, the leader of the.
And this happened, and they went to the United Nations, like the UN peacekeepers, etc., and they talked about fucking Gamergate. Like, this is actually a thing that happened in real life, and Jesus help me.
Okay, so
There were some memes. I found one where it says, Anita Sarkeesian, a survivor of cyber violence, speaks at the launch of the new UN report titled Cyber Violence Against Women and Girls. With the subtext, one of the lucky ones who survived.
So, here. If we're talking about Anita, you have to talk about Jonathan McIntosh at least a little bit, because
Yes.
that's Anita's. Yeah, McIntosh was Anita's ex-boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend. Basically, when feminist frequency was really taken off, it was because of him. Anita was the person in front of the camera, but McIntosh was behind the camera. He was editing. He was writing scripts. He was basically the brains behind the operation.
Yes.
And when they
McIntosh was
go ahead.
feminist frequency.
Yes, when they split up, feminist frequency began to go downhill. So after they basically they broke up, and Anita's like, well, I'm keeping the IP because I'm the face of it, and McIntosh was like, okay, well, fuck me, I guess. So he went off and he did the channel Pop Culture Detective. And if you look at it, like, it's not doing great anymore, but there's still some bangers on there, you know? Like, he got a lot of views. At the same time as Anita's channel was going down, his channel was rising up, you know? So people were actually watching his stuff. It's clear that, like, when it came to the feminist analysis of media, he was the guy who was actually doing it, because, you know, the hard work shows in his channel, right?
I mean, he's not putting out any content on it. I found it
not anymore. Yeah.
But I mean, that's a 1.3 million subscribers channel. That is a big success right there.
Yep. So, with the absence of McIntosh, let me just grab this here. I'm gonna give you a few screenshots that you should read out in order, Arch. So here's the first one. Check that out, okay?
Let's see. We've been working so hard on building this much-needed initiative. Help us make it a reality. Feminist Frequency. Today we are proud to announce one of our upcoming initiatives to help challenge the culture of sexism in the games industry. The Games and Online Harassment Hotline. A 24/7 service available to anyone who needs it. Help us launch this much-needed resource. Yes, this was one of her big initiatives.
Question. Fire
Yeah.
is the
So
answer.
this was like Bully Hunters, and then before that, I think Zoe Quinn did Crash Override. Basically, these resources for people who have been harassed online. They all failed. This one failed too.
Yep.
But here's like Anita shilling. He's like, listen, help us, give us money, give us money for this project that we're clearly trying to build. Okay, Anita, we'll give you money for your project. So around the same time, look at what she posts. Okay, check this out. Here's where that money's going. Okay.
Le Saveur du Passion is one of my favorite spots in Tangier. Definitely a tourist spot, but is a fav among locals as well. As in a small casual restaurant, they proceed to bring you 3 different courses of fish that will blow you away, plus lovely simple desserts and juices. Yep, nice, expensive, beautiful vacations.
Yep. Now, the exact same day, December 17th, that she is off on these expensive vacations, here's a tweet from one of her employees. And read that out.
Caroline Petite. Everyone who kicked a little money into my coffee, thank you so very much. At this point, it's no exaggeration to say that you're helping me keep afloat and pay my rent. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I hope I can pay your generosity forward someday.
So, at this point, Anita wasn't building any of the projects she promised. She wasn't even paying her staff. She was simply taking the money and going on vacation.
Yes.
You know, there was like an event where she was actually supposed to play a video game, and after like 2 hours of other people playing games, she finally arrives, and I'm like, okay, she's going to play it. Unbelievable. Like, it's just like, fuck shit, she's playing the video game. She stood there like for like 10 minutes, and then she excused herself because she has guests.
Oh,
You remember that?
I vaguely remember this, yeah.
it's interesting because like Anita Sarkeesian could have genuinely managed to make money. Like if she was like the first Let's Player, like first big e-girl that plays video games, should have made money even now. But she flat out refused. It was like video games were toxic to her. There is no footage of her playing a video game, not even Tetris.
Well, that is the funny thing. You remember the picture she took of herself in front of her stack of video games?
She sold all of them.
Service
She sold literally the same
citizenship.
stack. She sold them.
Yeah. Well,
Then
there's
I'm
that
an
really
Anita
old
Sarkeesian
video.
specialist. Like if she posted something online, I know about it. This is like I'm the lore master of this.
So there's that old black and white video from university, because apparently Feminist Frequency was a university project for her at one point, and she says in the video, "I'm not a gamer," so I had to research this on my own.
Yep.
I don't know if that video's been lost to time. I've seen it many times over the years. I don't know where it is now, but there's just an old black and white video of her in a
Heresy's the
classroom
question.
saying, "I'm
Fire
not
is
a
the
gamer."
answer.
So to do this project for this class, I had to research a lot about games, and that was the beginning of Feminist Frequency.
Yes.
And of course, later on, she was saying that if you bring that video up, you're a misogynist, and you know how it all goes at this point.
Yeah, she even went on, because I found the captions of it. She simply says, "I am not a fan of video games." She doesn't give a shit. She has never given a shit. This is a vehicle for her politics.
Mm-hmm. So, the last thing of note that Anita did was this here, Arch. Check this out.
I'm really excited to finally be able to share my new show with you all. This has been in the work for 2 years, episodes releasing every Thursday over at Nebula. That time when?
Yep. So she was contracted by Nebula TV to do a show called That Time When. This is what the show looks like. You can't really find it online, but that's what the show looks like if you were to watch it. So there's obviously some production value here, right? Like, there's a company behind this putting this together, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know, Nebula TV is basically Netflix, but for YouTubers, where it's a company and they will hire out YouTubers to do very highly produced content that you have to subscribe to, like a Netflix subscription, right? So I think like Lindsay Ellis does her videos on Nebula now. Legal Eagle does some videos on Nebula. It's very lefty, right? So, but basically that's what it is. Like if you want to see your YouTubers do highly produced content, it's on Nebula TV, okay? So she's been working on this show on Nebula TV for 2 years. Count up how many episodes.
1, 2,
of That
3,
Time When.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 videos in total.
There are 10.
2
One
years
them is
of
the trailer.
production. Yeah, one of them's the
One
trailer.
of them's
You're
the
right.
trailer.
And they're let's for shitsies. 10 minutes, 14 minutes, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 20. Okay, so it's a total of some 120 minutes that she spent 2 years on. It's a leisurely pace.
Yes. This was basically the last notable thing she did. Nobody watched it. Nobody gave a shit. And this was kind of the writing on the wall for Anita at this point. It's like she wasn't making a comeback. Nobody cared what she had to say. Like even like the lefties who used to like her, they'd all moved on at this point too. Like nobody was watching this show.
Yeah, because like she. So first of all, Jonathan McIntosh was the brains behind the operation. I think like he was the one pulling the mainstream media. Like there is a low take, room temperature IQ belief that if YouTubers wouldn't talk about Anita, she wouldn't be famous. It's like I'm sorry, but like BBC made her famous, The Guardian made her famous, Vox,
The UN
BuzzFeed
made her famous.
Yeah, UN made her famous. Like just because, oh my God, V made a video about Anita or Thunderfoot made a video about Anita, that's what makes her famous. No, right? Secondly, the moment Jonathan McIntosh left, I think she lost all those connections. And thirdly, people have HR diversity officers. That like the Blizzard, for example, they have an HR diversity officer, right? And she is the one that's telling them like how to write the story and what's acceptable and not. Anita literally can't shame Blizzard for not being a progressive company because they will be like, well, actually, our black lady, which is a diversity officer, has approved of this. You know, if you think it's sexist, go take it up with her. And there is no fucking way a white woman like Anita is going to go to a black person and like start saying about sexism and shit. Because like intersectionality doesn't allow her for that. So like literally that's why she's not popular. Because like first of all you have the e-girls. And this is like my argument why e-girls are essential for humanity. It's because they're like a lightning rod taking away from activists like Anita. No, unironically, like Pokimane causes less harm to the world than an activist like Anita Sarkeesian, a consultant with an agenda, right? Like the Sims exist. They're like a force of nature, like a thunderstorm. And they will just give money to whatever woman appears in their path. So I would rather them give money to Pokimane or like Amurav or whomever the fuck than to give money to an activist. That's literally like trying to justify why the industry should hire people in positions of power and privilege. Only to suck money from the company and not produce anything of value. Yeah.
The thing is, though, okay, the idea that she's moving on. So what is Anita doing now? That she's shutting down Feminist Frequency. Now, she's shutting that down because it's not earning money. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Its views are pathetic. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But is she working as a consultant? I'm not so sure. At the very least, I'm not sure she's a popular one, because she has sunk most of the things she was involved in. There was the rather famous one, in retrospect now, where back in the day, the developers of Saints Row said Anita Sarkeesian was correct. Remember this? This is from the olden days here.
Yep.
And then, of course, they developed Saints Row 5.
So here's something actually really interesting, okay? So when I was, because Dave and I on my channel streamed our entire playthrough of the new Saints Row game, because it was such a glorious shit show playing that fucking game. But one of the developers came in and chatted with me for a bit. He's like, I developed in the game and I worked on it, and we asked him a few questions, and he's like, listen, for a lot of us low-level programmers, we just did what we were told. Like, we know the game's fucking terrible. We couldn't do anything about it. We didn't control the writing. Like, I even asked him, why was there that line about student loans? And he said, they're trying to appeal to kids, basically. Like, there's basically some disconnected corpo at the top who thinks that this is what kids want. And so that's what they wrote. And so I was like, listen, like, why? Why is it the case that there's a disconnected corpo at the top who thinks this is what kids want? And the reason has always been consultants, because they get consultants to come in and say this is what your game should be.
Yep. The issue is, though, consultants do build the reputation of what they do and where they do it. Anita's reputation is not very good. She has not managed a lot of successes, and like V says, she doesn't have any connections anymore because they all vanished with Macintosh. She hasn't been relevant for years and years and years. So I don't believe that she is necessarily some shadowy entity that is still out there, being hired left and right. I think she's simply just broke right now and is going to try and do whatever she can. Somebody who was on the up and up wouldn't sign up to some, left-wing Netflix for YouTubers thing and do 10 episodes and then bounce because it wasn't earning any money. I don't think Anita's in a very good position right now.
No, she's not. I mean, she's still uploading videos, and despite the fact that she's got more subscribers than you and I, she barely gets any traction.
Hold on.
If I were to make a video where I fart, I would probably get more views than her.
Hold on, V. I don't know if I can stand for this slander.
You're saying you got more subs than I? Get the fuck out. You don't. Let me check. Hold on. No, this is Feminist Frequency, right?
Feminist Frequency. Let's see here.
You're a drop in the bucket compared to her.
I'm not 213,000 subscribers.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm 261,000.
But she was in Times Magazine. She was like the world's most famous gaming critic.
My lore channel has 261,000. My latest video has 43,000 views on it. That went out yesterday. I am bigger than Anita Sarkeesian.
Well, you know what? When are you going to go to the fucking UN, Arch? When are you going to go to the UN?
I am punching down right now, V. I am punching down.
Why aren't you going to the UN then, Arch? When is the Guardian go? See what you need, Arch? I'll tell you what you need. You need the sub story. This is what you need. You need to be a victim somehow. Someone somewhere must have done something to you, Arch. And it's not fucking fair. You know who? I know.
I am the one doing something to someone, V. I am the one punching.
I will tell you who's the aggressor,
I am
Arch.
on top.
No, you're not. You're on the bottom. You know who's on top? Is that guy from Games Workshop that said that you're an evil person? What was the context? Well, like
No, from
a guy
Creative
from
Assembly.
Games Workshop.
Creative Assembly, that was the guy.
Oh, Creative Assembly. Yeah. What did they say about you?
The dude who spent his last day on the stream going, Arch Warhammer is a dickhead. That was funny.
There you go, Arch. You've been victimized. Now you need to turn that into a sub story. Like, say you couldn't sleep at night.
I probably should have. I should have played more of the victim there.
You should. You could have got a donate. You could have made $1 million like Anita. Jesus Christ, 250,000 subscribers. Dude, like that's a lot of fucking
60,
subscribers.
not 50, you piece of shit.
I see. Well, I'm sorry for not accurately assessing your e-penis.
Okay, so here. So for example, there's this, right? This was Macintosh back when they were together, saying that Anita had taken on a consulting role at EA to work on Battlefield. Probably part of the reason why Battlefield was so fucking ridiculous for a while. I know that as her influence was waning, when CD Projekt Red went viral for that that advertisement with like a woman with a dick in Cyberpunk. It was like a cola brand on a sign, and it was a girl with a dick, like kind of in the tights. Remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. When they were going viral, Anita showed up and was like, "Hey, listen, it sounds like you need my consulting services to smooth this canceling over." You know, so she's been trying to get her tendrils into big name games for a while, and I think the offers just dried up.
Yep.
You know,
I
it's not
entirely
happening
agree.
anymore.
Like, for once, I disagree with Razorfist. I don't think Anita is a big bad. I think she is a lost woman who has failed at what she was trying to do. And she earned some good money doing it, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't last long when you're flying to Morocco to do your shopping.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say, I am all for Dick Girl in Cyberpunk, okay? I am pro Futa.
Service
What?
guarantees
Really?
Yeah,
citizenship.
pro Futa.
Why though?
Because it's basically hentai at that point.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but like, still.
Hold on, V. Are you saying that you're not going to have like a succubus with a penis that grows out? In your
Depends
game?
on how.
It fucks another succubus? See, that's the benefit of the Futa. The Futa can fuck other women. Duh.
Yeah, but like the
That's why it
succubus
got
would make
popular.
a woman grow a cock and she would fuck her. Like that. That's how it works. Like the succubus is peak femininity. Like she doesn't do the dick thing. No, like she makes another woman have the dick and she rides it.
Okay, that's weird, me. Why did you have to make this
No,
weird?
it's not. It's like,
Okay.
like she futanizes other women. Like she doesn't futanize herself.
Wait,
I
she
have lost.
futanizes? Is that
Yeah,
a
she
word
futanized.
now?
Why did you have
I
to
made
make
it a
this
word,
strange,
yeah.
V?
It's
Did
not
you have
dick
to make this
magic. Like,
weird?
why is it strange?
Okay,
It's a
listen.
sex demon art. It
Listen,
has
listen,
like demonic
chat.
energy.
Chat, there's no way that you can say that I'm a weird, degenerate tracer, friends with trans women, all this shit, when these two are 100% into dick girls as well. All right?
I'm not into dick girls, but like
Yeah,
I
I'm
make
not
a
into dick
product
girls
and
either.
I know what the customer wants. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not into the progressive type of marketing. I'm not going to shame my customers to buy the fun stuff.
You
Like,
want the
you-
dick
you
girl the
need
dick
to
you
know
get.
what-
There's a difference.
No, I don't. They just give really good head. That's it.
There's an enormous difference.
There's nothing wrong with being into transgender people, Dev.
I know.
Yeah.
Dick girls aren't transgender.
Well, hold on. Hold on.
Come on, no,
There are
no, no,
definitely
no. This
some,
is the dividing factor here. Dick girls are hentai. There's a difference. They're dick girls because magic and shit. Not
Yeah.
because they're fucking confused or their daddies beat them. Come on now.
I don't know if that makes it any straighter, Arch.
Yes, it does.
I don't think it does. That sounds like cope to me. There's still a dick involved
It's
somewhere in the process.
lesbianism with an added step. God, I remember when lesbians were hot, and now they're like, yeah, it's probably progressive. And it probably is.
Yeah. Fuck. It's like you have like two types of lesbians, right? You have like the anime girls, and then you
Those are
have,
hot.
you know, the people who have like the side of their head shaved,
Heresy's the
and
question.
they're at
Fire
pride
is the
events.
answer.
Yes. 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 See, Yuri good. Western lesbianism bad. There we go. Wholesome Yuri. Much better. But yeah, no, I think Anita's done. I genuinely think Anita's saga is at an end. I don't think she's going to be influencing gaming. I don't think she's going to be rolling in job offers. I think she is poison in the industry right now, and I think this is an actual genuine victory for us. That's what I think.
I think it's a victory when no one even spoke about her until, this news came out.
Well, that's it. Like, nobody was talking about it because she was on nobody's radar. She's still on nobody's radar. All we're doing is going, ha ha.
That's not entirely incorrect.
That is entirely correct, in fact. It is an accurate description of the situation. All right. Okay, so to wrap it up also real quick, because this should be a short topic, the Baldur's Gate 3 character editor. Dev, have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of it. Oh wait, hold on. We're done with Anita? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I think
yeah.
we're done. Like, she's
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, here's the thing. I mentioned this before. Like, I haven't spoken about Anita on my channel once ever in the entire history of my channel. So I'll probably do one giant retrospective of everything dumb that she's done now that she's quitting. Like, this is the time to do it.
Yep.
So I'll probably work on that like next week. But yeah, there's
instead of the
nothing more to say,
truckers
I don't
video.
think. Instead of the truckers video, yep.
So
Heresy's the question.
I put a
Fire's
picture
the
in
answer.
the link channel. This is the thumbnail to my video on it. This is, unironically, the one on the left is male elf. The one on the right is female elf.
Naruhodo.
Hold on, let me just find it.
This is peak current year.
The thing that I find interesting, right, and this is what most people didn't get from my video, which I think it was very high IQ. I don't mind that you can have 70 penis sliders and you can be non-binary and all of the other stuff. What I do mind is, like, why does it have the customization to allow for faces and breast size? Like, literally, it's an editor that's not made for me. I am supposed to buy the game so that I can support the fetishes of the developers, which include but are not limited to bear fucking, skin disease, and chicks with dicks. Nothing wrong with chicks with dicks, by the way. But, like, if you take my money so that I can support your chicks with dicks enthusiasm, why can't you give me a breast slider? Why is it hurting you? Why is it so fucking difficult? I will pay you 90 fucking bucks of my hard labor. I sweat over a hot succubus every single day so that I can make some. I will give it to you. Just give me a fucking breast slider. Why do you hate me so, California devil? It's not from California, it's from Belgium. Which is the country that's like the California of Europe because it gave us Guy Verhofstadt in the fucking European Union, okay? So it's still in the same area. It's a fucking state of mind. It's not a state of geography. So like, why do they hate me so? Why do they despise me? What have I done? What have I done to insult them so much that they just don't want to give me a fucking waifu?
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
See,
I finished the rant.
I feel the exact same way, where it's like, listen, if you want to make a femboy in your game, fine. Like, if you have the option, you put options in to do weird shit like that, okay, fine. Like, make your girly looking guys, make whatever you want to make, okay? But you should also have, like, breast sliders and butt sliders and, things that you used to have in games 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, you should have all of those options available. All right? However, when I saw this, because I saw this meme floating around, the male, the female looking almost exactly the same. I saw this meme floating around. And actually, it reminded me of this copy pasta, Arch, here. Have you seen this? Pull this shit up. Because people have been making this joke for a while now. Just that male elves always look like girls no matter what we're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this thing, I don't even mind that part. I know. If you had the options to make a elf that looks exactly like a female but is male, go ahead. I have no issue. The issue is you don't have that option. The issue is they have removed the gender entirely. There is no gender in the game anymore. Male and female is exactly the same.
No, you can do a life hack. Do you want to know which one is male, which one is female?
Which one?
The one that has its chest covered is female. The one that has its chest uncovered is male. The one that has its chest covered is female. The one with naked chest is male.
There you go.
I have
No, seriously, like pick the barbarian class.
Yeah, no, I did that. I did it in the video, actually, to show it off.
Yeah, and you get like 4 body type, right? Like the body type where the chest is naked, that's male. The body type where the chest is covered, that's female. That's how you can tell.
Like body type A and body type B or whatever. You see
No,
that
it's
in a lot
1,
of
2, 3,
games now.
4, Dev. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fuck. Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like here, I actually liked how Cyberpunk did it. It's just like choose your genitals. Okay,
Yeah.
you can make like the most feminine looking woman just add a dick. Fine, I don't care. That seemed much more interesting than
But
than
Cyberpunk
body type 1.
had
Jesus.
an editor, because what the big crime in this, again, like we said, it isn't that you can put a dick on a woman. If you want to, go the fuck ahead. So what? It's literally a slider.
Guarantees
I don't care.
citizenship.
The issue is they took out the character editor to put this in. They literally said in an interview that the players were creating too many straight, white, and male characters.
Yes.
And so they just took away your option to do that.
Yes. And do you know why they make straight white male characters? Because everything else looks like fucking shit.
Mhm.
Like you know, go to Lost Ark. It's not unironically, like go to Lost Ark. It's a video game that isn't really good, but like the character editor I'm talking about, right? You can have people of color that look good. I've been talking with a person from South Africa, and he was telling me, it's like we used to look at American Hollywood and the black actors they were casting, and they look so good. We wanted to be like them. We would think that black Americans look like so much better than we do. But when they look at what they see now coming from Hollywood and video games, he said like he can go out clubbing, and then like any woman, like pick a random woman, will look far better than what Hollywood is casting. I don't know why they have so much spite for people of color in Hollywood and Netflix. I genuinely don't. But I am willing to assume that they purposefully cast the most plain girl next door actress they can ever find constantly. In fact,
Because they
Arch
do.
made the video about how the Witcher lady was casted.
I have
Purely based
lost-
on nepotism.
Yep.
Purely based on nepotism. Literally fresh out of art school. Don't give me the bullshit. It's like, oh, the best actress for the job. Bullshit. There is no fucking way you can say that is the best actress for the job when they just finished art school. And in a major production like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Meanwhile,
sorry, I'm done.
you've got Korea making games like Black Desert Online, for example, where screw facial sliders, you can literally adjust the way your fucking hair is sitting on your head. You can adjust every last singular detail about your character. You can make them as beautiful or as ugly as you goddamn well want, because it is about player choice. What Baldur's Gate 3 is doing is removing player choice because they don't like the choices the players are making. They are the wrong choices. They need to make them make the correct ones, which is male, female, indistinguishable, but with a dick. Because again, they have a character editor. They said so in the interview as well, that they have a character editor that they made, and now they're just using it for themselves, and they don't want to give it to people because they would be making the wrong character. That is peak current year, where you have people working in video games genuinely believing that your dick, your junk, is more important to your identity than your face is.
Service guarantees
Yep.
citizenship.
Well timed.
It's not only that. Like at the end of the day, you know, when you're creating a character, you're supposed to create it for entertainment. The main issue is that they view themselves like mommy and daddy, and they want to educate you. And this is what I find the most abhorrent, because I know the game is good. Okay, like I understand that the game is actually great. I played it myself. I despise the morality of the people that made it. You know, it's like a store where you can go in and everything is good, but the cashier like looks at you with the most disdain and disgust. Like she hates that you are there. She hates that. I think it would be like, you know, how black people felt after the civil rights movement. When you're allowed to go into the store and you see the owner looking at you with so much disgust and disdain, but they can't do anything about it, and they have to do business with you. I think this is literally how the developers think of us, the gamers.
Probably.
Am I wrong, Arch? Am I wrong? Was the comparison too far?
They are bad people. Bad paper.
I don't think that they think I'm a bad person, definitely.
Bad paper.
I'm also going to assume that this drives a lot of the progressive hate for Japan and Japanese culture and anime and Japanese games because they're not doing
Service
this shit.
guarantees citizenship.
Yes. There is a hatred of the ideal. Like, there's a hatred of perfection because they can't reach it and they hate it. And it is like an extreme version of the way the women look at the underwear models. Like, because this has been proven again and again. A man looking at an underwear model on a, like, poster, and it has very little impact on his psyche. For women, it has significantly larger impact. This seems to be reflected now in character editors. And then you add on the political part on it as well, where they actually believe that you making the straight white male character is somehow negative in and of itself. To the point where they feel the need to artificially interfere in the game, make the game actually worse, less than it could be, to fix this problem.
You know, they're going to say that if it wasn't for Penis Slider, the game will flop.
I'm sure
Here's
they will.
something interesting. Like, they literally said that the gaming journalist, that, oh my god, look, the top 4 games on PlayStation all have LGBT representation, to imply that is the LGBT representation that made God of
That
War
makes it
good.
good.
Yeah, and my point is literally every game in 2023 has LGBT representation. So if you go to the to the bottom 4 games, they probably have it. If you go to the bottom, to the mid 4 games, they have it as well. Like this, right? Every single time a game flops, they will never say that is the wokeness. Every time a game succeeds, it's the wokeness that pushed it.
Arch, just put this up real quick if you don't mind. I know what you mean though, V. Like, here's the thing: one of the biggest games right now is still Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's I don't think there's any LGBT representation in that game, but it's still an amazing game, and people love it. And in fact, like it's been months, everyone's still talking about this game, right?
Hold
like,
on, I'm pretty sure Link's a cuckold twink.
No, that's the thing. Because there is no representation, they've been. I made a whole video about it. They've been trying desperately to claim him as representation. It's like, no, Link, he's definitely bi or trans or something. He has to be. It's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's just very androgynous. But he's definitely a guy. He definitely is in a romantic relationship, a straight romantic relationship with Princess Zelda, and that's that. And I think people, for a while, they were just really, really angry that a game with no LGBT representation was like number 1. They were irrationally angry at that.
Yeah, no, this is a mental illness. Like to judge a game. And what's interesting is that if you do the other way around and you judge a game because it's woke, then they will call you mentally ill. Like for example, if there is a game that like race swaps, gender swaps characters, does everything, body type A, body type B, like all the bullshit, and you're like, okay, I'm not buying this. Like this is too woke. They will call you mentally insane. But if you're like, if they see someone that likes that, they'll be like, oh, that is so progressive. Oh, that is so good. You're a decent human being, right? Like when you cherish what they make, they encourage that. Like they're happy when someone cherishes. When someone criticizes, they call them insane.
Oh, someone in chat says same thing happened with Bayonetta 3, where all the idiots realize Bayonetta isn't gay. Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
I never thought that she's gay.
There was like an ambiguous hint in the first 2 games that
Yeah,
Bayonetta
I think like
and
she was
John
bisexual, maybe, but
Yeah.
like and it's like bisexual because like that's hot, not
Yeah,
not
it's that.
bisexual as in like the Western version, I guess. Yeah.
No, in Bayonetta 3, they confirmed Bayonetta to be in a relationship with a guy, and people lost their fucking minds over it. There was people saying that like, no, Bayonetta is what helped me come out of my queer shell when I was a kid. You can't make her straight. This is queer.
You know what's interesting? Like there was what was it? Damn it, I forgot my train of thought.
I have lost. Oh, sorry. Shit. Well,
Yeah,
here,
I'll
Arch,
remember. I'll remember.
just to take that off the screen, I want you to pull this up right here, just so we all understand that Japanese games still know how to make decent-looking women.
Well, that's not a question, Dev. That was always known and true. Also, elves are for enslaving.
Yep. That's why she's a dark elf.
All of them. Regardless of race.
Oh yeah, Shy Lily, the VTuber.
Also for enslaving.
I remember, like, she literally had to come out as straight.
Yeah, the whale girl, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like she, I think, like, for one
Here's the
moment, she
question.
was like the most
Fire is
popular
the
in
answer.
the most popular on Twitch. But like, we reached a point where people have to come out as straight, and she was actually afraid like how her fans would react.
Of course. Because
Yeah,
that is
that's
actually
like-
that is a controversial thing to do in this day and age.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's
like
kinda
if
funny
you're
because,
if you're
like-
an influencer, if you're a Hollywood actor, if you're like, you know, someone, it is expected that you pick anything else besides straight to identify yourself, or you don't talk about it.
Mhm.
And like when you pointed out with Bayonetta, like we see why. Like there are people literally attacking you for being the same like their mommy and daddy was.
Yep.
It's just fucking bizarre.
I think the thing is with Shy Lily, like she's more of a lewd VTuber, and she always like made jokes about guys and about girls, just about sex in general, right? So there's probably this assumption that she was, you know, very lewd and horny, therefore bi, like automatically, right? That's probably the assumption. Everyone wants to see their favorite anime girl get with another anime girl. It's just kind of how it goes, right? However, at the same time, I did see, you might know this, V. I don't remember the name of the person, but there was another VTuber who actually did come out as straight, and her fans revolted against her. It was like a week ago or a month ago. It was relatively recent, and it wasn't Shy Lily, it was someone else.
I don't know about anyone else, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like
Yeah,
again,
it was somebody else,
the only way I would
Service
understand
guarantees
is if you're like
citizenship.
misleading, you know, like you're misleading hard your audience, and then you
Yeah, there's
just
like-
come out and you're like, well, I'm actually, you know, like I'm straight, you know, like I let you guys think that I'm gay, but actually I understand people being upset about that, right? Not because of your state or your gay, but because you're being disingenuous.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Well, like,
there's
this is not
definitely
what's
been
happening.
instances of that where like there's been e-girls who like play up, I'm single, but they're actually not single. They just keep
Yeah,
their
yeah.
boyfriend like a secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's the same shit. Yeah.
Oh, that actually reminds me of something. Hold on. Here, let me find this. I'll be a second.
That's okay, Dev. We will sit here and look at you in awkward silence for a while.
I think I found it. Let me find a decent screen cap. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take a picture of this so I can show it to you. Okay, you guys know the channel. You probably know the channel. Linus Tech Tips.
Yes.
Yeah, big channel,
He
Canadian-based.
did
Does
the
a lot about
communist
technology.
computer for Hassan, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the sequel when he does the Nazi computer, but I don't think that's.
Okay,
You
so he has a
think it would look
series.
better as aesthetic speaking, like if you make like a Nazi computer versus a communist one.
Probably, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd probably dress it in leather, wouldn't you?
Okay,
Makes you
so
uncomfortable. Anyway,
you know, pretty fun channel. I like technology and tinkering and stuff, so I watch a lot of their videos. But they have a series where Linus will go to the home of one of his employees and give him a $5,000 budget to build a new gaming rig. And he'll build it for them in their house. And this is an opportunity to get to know one of the employees who's usually behind the camera, to get to know their family and stuff, okay? So here, there's this chick, all right? And first of all, you can tell something about her just by her aesthetic, right? Living in downtown Vancouver, you know, there's something very progressive about this girl. When you hear her talk, she's very progressive. However, at one point, she kind of shoehorns into the video. She says, "I'm queer," okay? And it's like, well, hold on, you're queer. Like what does that mean necessarily? Because she's with a guy.
She's willing to experience, I guess.
Yeah,
to
like
experiment.
she's in a long-term relationship with a guy. Does it mean that she's bisexual? Why wouldn't you just say bisexual? And I've been talking about this with my girlfriend, who actually is bisexual, right? And I was like, what the fuck does queer mean among Zoomers nowadays? And it seems to be the case that when someone says, "I'm queer," what they're saying, they're not saying that they're bi, they're not saying that they're gay or trans. What they're saying is that even though they're probably just straight, they adopt an LGBT aesthetic.
Yeah.
which is kind of
And
what
they're
she is.
They're
or
saying
they're willing
they're
to
progressive.
experiment. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the same as
basically,
clacking your heels together, going "Heil
yeah,
Hitler."
this is what they're doing with like the reason you have white people pretending to be minorities when they apply for a university.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
lying on their it's kind of like that.
So like, yeah, basically queer means I'm not actually lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans, but I do want to be part of this minority. So I have like some aesthetics and some political views that align me with them. So I'm queer now. It's a feeling, not an actual orientation.
Yeah. It's like comrade. Oh, come on.
Yeah, pretty much. No, spot on. Like that. That's a good observation. Yeah. Marad.
I don't exactly remember when I brought this up. You said something 5 minutes ago that made me like instantly think of it. Of basically like,
About
adopting an aesthetic without being
VTubers
a thing.
identifying, like VTubers identifying as straight and getting into problem.
Yeah. I guess this is just basically like what they do now is if they're just straight, they'll identify as queer. There's some flavor of something, maybe. I don't know what it is. It's the yellow overalls. That's what makes her on the LGBT spectrum.
All right. I'm going to move on to the last super chat then, and we will wrap up for today.
I will have to leave because it's already half hour past bedtime. So
She's already
Good night.
asleep. Why do you have to leave? Stay.
Do
It's
the
too
same
late.
thing as last time, where
Yeah.
after I leave, you come back.
It's too late, V.
no, because I need to make another video as well. Because I only made 4 today, so I need to make the 5th.
Jesus Christ, V.
I'm
That's a lot of
working
videos
hard,
for
man.
one day. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I need to pay the people that I work with. So I'm not a commie dev. I do pay people who work for me. I'm not Hassan Piker. Do you know why I call him Piker?
No, why?
Because hard R. He used the hard R. So
Oh, I see.
cracker. He said so. He got suspended from Twitch. Anyway, Arch, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll see you again.
All right.
See you, V. Have fun.
Scott the Celt says, as a Texan, we have no bad food. Come fight me. You fuckers grill like cows' assholes. You've got plenty of bad food. Shut up. Alex Massey says, Transavi's disgusting Romanian food. Question boiled pig intestines. Pig ram testicles. Oh, ram testicles. I remember that scene from Rome where they were like, listen, you're going to have to eat this pair of testicles. It'll give you a hard-on. And then you'll go fuck the slave girls. Like, that is an interesting way to talk. Rome was a great
actually
TV
work?
show.
That doesn't actually work, does it? You get a hard on after eating the testicles of an animal?
No, Dev.
Service guarantees
Try it.
citizenship.
No, I don't think I will.
No one says surströmming does take some technique to open the can, but it can be very delicious with potatoes and cream cheese. I don't know about that. The whole sentence says, it's the North American beaver, Dev. The North American beaver. Ah, Dev, you tard. You didn't even know the
Yeah,
beaver
I
was
guess-
North American. Tard.
I guess there wouldn't be any. Hold on. Are there beavers?
Are there beavers?
Yeah.
Are beavers real? Actually, let me ask Google. Are beavers real?
Oh, what? Hold on. There are Eurasian beavers running around. However, there's a bunch of North American beavers in Finland for some reason. How'd they get there?
I don't know, but it is true. Beavers are real. In case you
Were they just? Did someone just bring a bunch of beavers to Finland? Now they're an invasive species.
I hope so. Beavers are romantic at heart. This is good to know. Gabriel Natia says, Google macro in sauce tomate. 10 plus Romanian brands. See? Romanian's disgusting. The whole sentence says, we need to bring back drawing and quartering. That would create a very high trust society. Public executions. See, okay. I am not sure whether I am for or against the death penalty because I've simply just not thought about it all that much. But if I am for, it's going to be in public. In fact, it should be on the television. Like, let's go full Conrad Kurz night on to here. Whenever there's an execution, every channel of every television ever just switches to it, and it's like, yep, you're watching this now. That's it. That's all you gotta. Yeah, that's what you watch. You watch this now. Hey, it'll be quick, we'll have executions be fairly rapid, 5 minutes out of your day or something. can't inconvenience people too much. But that's what I would do. Oh, the Chinese came up with an interesting execution method. What was it called? The half
Service guarantees.
They had this interesting little thing shaped like a bull bent over, and then they had you know those bread cutting machines, the ones with like the thing that you're like the thing with the thing. Dev, help.
Hold on, this just happened. You got to see this.
God damn it, Dev. Ah, there we go. That's a potato, but it'll work.
Sorry, I got massively distracted by this this taking off right now. I wonder if like here, look at this video and tell me if you think this is actually real.
I could see it. That's Count Dankula challenging Vorsh to a wrestling fight, I'm presuming, or a boxing match, who knows? I'd probably say at least half in jest, but who knows?
I mean, that would be quite the match if we're going to be doing YouTuber boxing.
If you want to see real pointless corruption, there you go. The fucking YouTuber boxing. God damn. That is the purest clout chase right there. That is the purest clout chase. Like, oh, we're gonna fight. That is it. That is it. Or no, actually no. There's one step further. That's we're going to fuck. That would be the one above. That would be the one above. Now back to the Chinese. The Chinese came up with an execution method where they had a large thing like this, and they would cut people in half. But they aimed specifically to avoid the vital organs, so the person would live longer whilst they were doing it. If we instituted this as a form of punishment and televised it, then I do believe that V is correct. We would see less crime. Diversion aside, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Glondark says, head cheese is an Appalachian dish from European ancestry, which is basically a meat jelly using parts most people don't eat, like eyeballs and brains. See, that makes a certain amount of sense, because back in the day, people were hungry, and they couldn't just, throw out shit, so they would find ways to eat it. That's fine, Ben says, despite hating Sweden, do you approve of Sabaton? Sabaton is great, and they're not Swedish. Don't tell me differently. Thomas Wayne says, excellent stream, lads. Arch, happy belated birthday. Thank you very much, sir. Brian Walton says, Anita may have lost for now, but she needs to be taught her error was her trying to take us on in the first place was the biggest mistake of her life. Then she will be truly beaten. Salt her fields. Ooh, I don't know. Considering her age, I think her fields might already be salted. Just a suspicion. The Holsonator says, I mean, it makes sense that feminism need a man to properly explain their nonsense, just like they rely on men for everything else. That is true. Glow in the Dark, behind every feminist there is a hard-working soy man. When the soy man leaves, the feminist loses money. Yep. At least in the case of Anita. The Holsonator says, I would like to personally thank Anita for doing more damage to the left-wing politics than anything else. Thank you for uniting all your enemies against everything you care about. Yep, unironically. I believe Anita, at the end of the day, was a good thing because she woke us up to all of the shit they were doing in secret. Because without Anita, the corruption of the institutions would simply have continued. Like the sneak leftification of everything would have continued apace without a break. But then Anita decided to go, hey, look over here. And people didn't like what she was pointing at. Let's see. I need a flattering. There we go. That one. There. Sabaton. Sabaton is good stuff. I swear to God, if Sabaton are progressives, I'm going to be very sad. I hope not. Glow in the Dark says, Arch is truly merciful and generous to these YouTuber peasants. He constantly raises their numbers and allows them to eat the Superchats from his table. That is true. I am a kind and gentle master. God, I can't believe I even surround myself with such low subscriber number YouTubers, but somebody's got to do it. I'm the popular girl. Yes, and Dev's the ugly fat one. V's the screechy one. Yes. Jit Sigma says, the victim card doesn't work as well for both genders. Macintosh tried, but without Anita and her pretty, enough, female privilege card, he didn't get many subs or views. I mean, 1 million subs. It's pretty damn good. And yes, I mean, Anita doesn't, she's not bad. She's not bad. She's entirely okay. Hell, even Zoe Quinn, when she really works on it, she passes, you know? Somebody's got to do it. Scott Piquel says, Dev and V are both wrong. Make games based again. Correct. The only correct assumption is to assume that Dev is incorrect.
Why just me? He also mentioned V.
Yeah, but it's mostly you. The Real Wholesale says, I've heard multiple conversations in multiple settings and across demographics starting to have the distinguishing English? I've heard multiple conversations in multiple settings and across demographics starting to have the distrusting trans conversation this week. Well, the thing is, when the trans activists themselves are saying this, they are doing this either for attention or for clout or to make you uncomfortable or to push a political point. You should not trust them. But that is, of course, there should be a differential between them and actual people who have gender dysphoria. That's where the distinction needs to lie. Because not all. Hashtag not all. Mr. Twisted Fantasy says, how long do you think it'll be before the outrage over the inevitable character customization mod? Not long. It'll be like Total War when they did the Three Kingdoms game, and they banned the sexy waifu mods, even as the moderator who did the banning was on the Reddit going like, yes, this is my husbando character. Hypocrites will hypocrite. It is what they do. Space Wolf Blackmane says, hey Arch, I think the Death Corps would be best at boarding actions. Grenadiers and engineers are perfect. A specialized small... Stop. Scrolling YouTube. Specialized small boarding frigate too. Maybe, but it's the Imperial. Like, you still need to get there. That's the issue because you're getting shot at the whole way. Not sure it's worth the cost. Charlie says, Futa, Giga Chad, also around elves. Watch yourselves. True. So John says, in one of the Zelda games manuals, Link was shown praying to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's an old one. Kind of funny.
There you go. I see. This is why me and Dev will eventually make a podcast together. Because I just looked at Dev there. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him and he chimed in. Charlie,
I know all the Nintendo lores. I've been playing that shit since I was like 2 years old, man.
Says new Zelda game is garbage for lore reasons, not politics. Yes, you have been told. Garbage.
I mean, kinda.
Nah.
They're not explaining how it fits in the timeline. It seems like they're retconning a lot of stuff from older games.
Tatsusama says, Yo Arch and Squeaking Romanian. Wait, did I just skip that one? Oh, God damn it. Tatsusama donates a very generous $50, and I just skipped right over it. I am sorry. He says, I'm a fan of the short fat guy. Well, I'm not sorry anymore. You deserved to be skipped. I knew there was a reason why my eyes simply glazed over that one.
Sounds good. You can just send me all the money from it then.
Dev, I don't see a contract between us. Do you? Rusty Cooper says, the body type, choose your male or female traits in Baldur's Gates. Identity, let's pick your male, female, or non-bi. They let you slap any genitalias on any character. Yep, they do. And the worst part is, it looks awful too. Like, the dick just looks like a piece of plastic that they kind of stuck haphazardly onto the body. It does not look like a dick. It's just some clay that there's like, yeah, there you go.
So they didn't do it as well as they did in Cyberpunk then. So it looked pretty decent in Cyberpunk.
I imagine the vulvas too. They're modern day vulvas, surgical vulvas. We need to insert a rod into them occasionally to widen a bit. Blaze Stone says, QUXXR just means brainwashed into LGQ politics in school. Nothing more. Queer just means, oh, I guess YouTube censors queer for some reason. Just means brainwashed into politics in school. Nothing more. Edited to get past YouTube. Yeah, there we go. You know, unironically, saying that you are queer it's a declaration of your political belief without, like, outright saying it. That is what it is. It's like, I am on your side, fellow progressive. Tank Imperator says, I was against the death penalty, then I was exposed to Afghanistan and their Baka Bazi. Now I am very much for it. See, I am not opposed to the death penalty on, like, a moral basis. I am opposed to it on a functional basis. On a logistical basis. The only basis anyone should ever agree or disagree with anything. Logistics, goddammit. Because despite all of the stuff we have, all of the organizations we have, all of the rules, all of the like making sure that you have like so and so many appeals, etc., to make sure that you're not condemned illegitimately, it still means that you are running the risk of killing an innocent person, which you gotta have extraordinary guarantees and rules surrounding that to make sure. Also, incidentally, Bakabazi means like boy wife, just in case you were wondering.
Okay, I'm gonna get going, Arch, because I gotta start my own stream tonight. I'm doing like 18 streams today, so I still gotta do my own content for my channel at some point.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go. Thanks for having me yet again. So it's always fun.
Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you again.
Yep. See you next time.
And as Dev leaves with literally one super chat left, he reminds all of us why we should never ever trust Canadians. As Mark Ashamed says, Arch, you should do a lore video on N-Dogs from Starship Troopers, the funny talking telepathic linked canines. I think they are mostly in the comic series. I believe so as well. I've read one comic in which they've got the dogs. It's mentioned in like 2 lines in the book. I don't think they're mentioned at all in the movies. But they're telepathic canines, where they're a special like breed of dog, which is significantly more intelligent than normal dogs. Like they're described as stable geniuses of dog kind, and they can communicate actually with their handlers that develop a uniquely close bond with their canines to the point where usually, what was it? What they said? It was when the handler, when the owner dies, the dog is always put down, and when the dog dies, the owner wishes to be put down, or something like that. Like it would be better if we did that for the owners as well, because of their incredibly close bond. It's a really cool little piece of sci-fi that I don't think I've seen anywhere else. The telepathic dogs of Starship Troopers. Really, nothing comes to mind where that was done now or elsewhere. It's pretty cute. Pretty adorable. But I don't know if there's I think there's like no lore about it. It is literally just like, I have a dog and I can speak to it telepathically. I think that is literally the lore. So that would be a lot of theory crafting, but not impossible. I will keep it in mind. Ah, yes, they talk retardedly. That's true. They talk retard. They are described as slightly less intelligent than... What was it? It was about as intelligent as the average human retard, I think they said. But that is a disservice to the dog, because a retard is a deviant, whereas the dog is a stable genius. That's the exact words of the text, I swear to God. Now, that was a really cool one. Anyways... We have gotten through our super chats for the day. We've talked about all of our topics, which means we did better than last month, which is nice, isn't it? So let me see who is actually streaming today as we wrap it up. Where is the streaming thing? There is the redirect thing. Okay. Dev is streaming. Dev is the only one streaming. Rosa has upcoming streams as always. I owe Rosa a raid, but she never fucking streams when I do. God damn it. Okay, we raided Kyle last time. So we should raid Dev today, shouldn't we? Like, we've got to... Who did I...
Service
did
guarantees citizenship.
I don't even remember now. I raided Kyle because we did birthday stream and then Command Modern Operations. So it's Dev's turn. It should be Rosa's turn. Actually, when is Rosa planning on streaming? It should be Rosa's turn. We need to be kind. Fucking days from now. Okay, never mind. Jesus. Oh, there you go. I will be doing some a game with Kyle again in, I think, a hour's time or something like that as well. So there will be entertainment on the ANCAP Cat Trap Steam as well. But for now, I will link you over to Dev. And Ben comes in at the end there within the super chat saying, a boy and his dog revolves around this phenomenon.
Citizenship.
Yes, it does. And I mean, and it is a very strong bond as well. Anyone who's ever lost a pet can attest to that, no doubt about it. And Dryfee, too, says, yeah, I'm not inherently against the death penalty, but I do worry about an innocent person getting killed. On top of which, if you're innocent once you're dead, how many people would even try to clear your name? Simply case closed. Absolutely. Like, even the people who get convicted have to fight tooth and nail to get through the justice system again to try and prove their innocence. And it takes decades. And it does happen. And it's rare. It is very genuinely actually rare. But it does happen. And that is the problem, of course. Right. Until next time. Thank you all very much for watching, for your super generous donations as always, and for hanging out with me for yet another day. Tomorrow we will be starting Baldur's Gate. If you are a channel member, by the way, or a Patreon supporter, we usually have a exclusive chat for supporters every Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, in fact, of every month. We will not be doing this week because we'll be doing Baldur's Gate, but what I will give you instead is I will actually give you the first episode of my historical series about the Russo-Japanese War of 1904, as we actually have the first episode 99% done with some minor edits here and there not finished. I will actually give you that, and I am planning to have a lot of episodes done before I do any actual releases of the full thing. So if you are a supporter, you will gain exclusive access to that months and months before everybody else. Is Arch not a kind and gentle master? Yes, yes he is. Until next time, have a good day.